saying I'm hot like a furnace.
Yeah.
DDG snapped on this.
He said,
We rap?
Yeah. He bought her Gucci, I'm finna go buy
buy
her
a Prada.
Spoiling women and
Taking them shopping, I'm tripping. I cut off, returning. DDG popping, these going here when I dropping. They saying I'm hot as a furnace.
I want a Grammy, I've been in the studio snapping.
This is crazy.
Welcome back to A Trillion Perspectives. This episode 105, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. No.
Some slight.
Yeah, I just want to, today episode going to be talk about finding your purpose. And so before we get started, my name is Jalen. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, y'all? My name Mark.
My name's Sterling. Some people call me Sterling out of pocket, man.
Yo, what up, y'all? My name is Mari.
Before we start, y'all, let's get a mental health check in, physical health check. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual check. How you doing? How you feeling?
Hey, spiritual check is crazy. I'm all over the place. I'm not gonna lie to
I ain't
you.
gonna lie to you.
It's a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Especially since school been picking up, just on top of the other entrepreneur like aspects that I got going on.
Yeah.
And for me, also trying to keep like God ahead of that as the top priority, it's just been a lot.
Yeah, put your mic a little closer. You good.
You
Go ahead, Maury. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm up and down, man, for sure. Just mentally really good. Mentally really good right now. The school been going really well. Business wise, everything good. Spiritually, just been ups and downs though. Just
That's how it is, ain't it?
spiritually, it's ups and downs, man. Just rough, bro. Spiritually right now. So just trying to stay in motion, stay locked in with God for sure.
Yeah. It with me, like, spiritual journey, just, continue just trusting every process. Like, I'm in the process, I might lose my job. It's just like, it's just a certain level of, like, I feel free. Like, if it happen, it do. If it don't, like, I'll find something new. Like, it's a part of the process. You know what I'm saying? He'll take certain things out your life because he knows, like, he got it's time for the next chapter.
Right.
So just trusting him, you know what I'm saying? So finding your purpose. Do you feel like y'all are in your purpose or in the process of finding your purpose?
So I'm gonna come with something crazy off rip.
Go ahead.
I don't think that you find your purpose. I think you pursue it. I don't think you ever really and so like when you ask, have you found it? I don't think I have found it, and I don't think that it's not one thing that I'm looking for. I think it's especially with the relationship with God, it's gonna be several things. My purpose is always changing with Him.
Depend on where you are in your life.
Depends on where He has me in life.
How y'all feeling? That was deep.
Nah, facts.
What's y'all perspective?
I would say for me, I feel like God has had me in a place where I'm just continually finding my purpose in a sense, as far as like just having me start to get outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like start doing things that I never would have thought I would have been doing. Like, I think I was listening to, there's this girl in St. Louis and she had a full ride scholarship to go play D1. She was 17 years old and she got hit by a car and got stuck between two cars, had to get her legs amputated, had a full D1 scholarship, and now I'm sure now she wish she died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just thinking about that story, and it was like, man, she got to exactly where she was trying to go. She made it and then lost it, like everything. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about fear and like how many times, I may be afraid, especially being an entrepreneur, to talk about my ideas or try to pursue it out of fear. And it's like, it's almost disrespect. Like, that's a girl who she had it.
Yeah.
And it's almost disrespectful for me to like, I got my eyesight, I can hear, I got activity as my limbs. So it's like taking that for granted is just crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it gave me a whole different perspective of just like
Of life.
Yeah, of life for real. So yeah.
What about you, Maury?
I'll definitely say like I feel like I'm aligned with my purpose right now. I won't say that I'm like continually walking in it as I should, but I know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like my purpose, I found it was just discipleship. Learn how to make disciples, learn how to, take somebody, help them find their faith with God, establish them in their faith, and that continual process of, working with them to understand what it looks like to become a disciple for Christ. And then, so in turn, they can go and make disciples themselves. So, everything I'm doing right now, any fruits that I have, anything I'm doing, it is really just undercover. I'm undercover. That's what I like to say. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally like undercover, like an undercover police officer. I'm look like I'm a drug dealer. I'm on the scene, but undercover, I'm trying to help people find Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything I do, I'm just undercover. Honestly.
Yeah. I just want to say a quick note. Just make sure y'all looking at the camera. So when we recording these clips, you know what I'm saying, it's looking a little crispy. You know what I'm saying? So, man, so that's crazy. I disagree with you, Mark. I feel like I'm in my purpose, and I feel like this is my purpose where I'm at right now. Of course, you continue pursuing it. Your purpose will change. I feel like it changes at different phases of your life. Like, my purpose at 21 might not be my purpose at 23, might not be my purpose at 25, might not be my purpose at 30. But I feel like this podcast is, brought into me just, this is my purpose to be able to shine a little light on.
So I got a question for you then.
Go ahead.
What's the difference between a calling and a purpose?
I got to think about that one. What you say?
So I say your calling may be something like you're saying, like a podcast. That's something that you might do for a long time. Like somebody who's a doctor, that may be their calling, but their purpose isn't just to be a doctor. They can have several purposes within that calling from God.
Y'all agree?
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I could be wrong. That's just
No.
Perspective,
I like that.
I like that too, Mark, because it's like I'm called to do this certain thing to serve a certain purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes sense. Like, because like, just as a podcast, you called to do this podcast, but there's a purpose behind why you're doing the podcast.
I agree with that. So I'm wrong on that. I like that. I like that. But just next thing, have y'all traveled somewhere? What places have y'all traveled?
I ain't been nowhere.
I've
been to DC, which is a blessing.
Shoot, we used to travel like every summer. So, I've been to California, Florida, plenty Canada.
How was Canada?
I was about to add.
Canada was cool. That was I'm trying to think. That was 2016. That was when LeBron got that block, because I remember we was in the car and he got that block. But no, that was cool. We just got to do a lot of sightseeing. Canada's like right by, I think it was between the border, because we got to go to New York. It was close to New York, so we got to see that. But it was real smooth. Went up there with the fam.
Maury.
Yeah, I've been in decent amount of places. Definitely Cali, San Diego, New York, Arizona, out of the country, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, St. Lucia, Barbados, Mexico, Puerto Rico.
Bro, traveling.
He's been around the world. He's been around the world.
There's definitely a few more. I just don't feel like listing them all, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
Jamaica type of deal.
Okay, but the question is it bad? Have y'all traveled with a significant other before?
Nah.
Yes, I have.
Oh, what was that like?
Y'all paid too.
Y'all paid?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay, question real quick.
Wow.
Are you still with significant other?
I'm not.
Ooh.
I am.
But I don't look at it that way, because no matter what happened, if we broke up or not, God said it wasn't for me at this time, or it's not for me anymore. I don't look back at the money and be like, man, I shouldn't have paid that money. You know what I'm saying? Because I paid for the memories. I really paid because I really wanted you to go. I didn't go if it was just to brag, to like, I paid for my girl to go on a trip. I really cared because I want to travel the world, and you want to spend those times with your significant other. You spend so much time with them. You want to see, you want to grow.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's times where, is it bad to bring sand to vacation?
Sand.
Do y'all understand that term?
Nah, explain that.
You got to
Explain that. Yeah, I don't get it.
Is it bad to bring your girl sometimes to travel? Because let's say this, for my birthday, I had some of my best friends with me, Amari and David. We went to Miami, but I also brought my girlfriend at the time. And I couldn't balance
the bros, being with the bros.
I couldn't balance being with the bros and being with my girl, or certain experiences that I missed out on. Not so much just pursuing women, but just there's a certain level of growing that you go and traveling by yourself, or traveling with your friends, and experiencing those different things without having to respect certain boundaries, or make sure someone else is happy. You're trying to keep her happy while you're on a trip, or instead of just really walking in what you're living, or living in the moment. So is it bad to bring sand to to send to vacation sometimes.
Yes.
Mm.
I say so. I'll go ahead and give it.
Go ahead.
Yes. I say, especially when you was talking just about that scenario, like I feel like being in college, everybody, and not even just through college, like social media in general, we're competing for everybody's time. Like, what are we doing? We trying to get videos to go viral and compete with everybody's attention.
Yeah.
So it's like, I say same thing with like hanging out with the bros, hanging out with your girl. Like when you with your girl, I know from my experience, like I dedicate my time to somebody like very fully. So I'm gonna plan out my time accordingly. So with my girl, I'm gonna try to give her that best attention. If I'm with my bros and I'm with my girl, I can't give both the same amount of attention. Because if let's say I'm laughing, I'm joking around with the bros, but she don't understand the joke.
Yeah.
And it's just like okay.
She like, what's funny?
What's funny? You
What's
know what
funny?
I'm saying? What's funny?
What you kiki about?
You know, and she just don't understand it, and vice versa. You know, I'm tied up with the girl, and the bro like, man, you all with her, and we hanging out. So it's like maybe certain settings, but traveling where I have to dedicate my time. You know, nah.
That was a lesson for sure.
Yeah.
Never bring your girl with the guys.
So I ain't never had that experience, but my question to y'all is like, do you think that would be different if your girlfriend had a relationship with your boys or something like that?
Yeah.
What?
No, it's still the same. It's
still
the
the
same
same.
thing.
Really?
Same
Still the
thing,
same.
though. I don't care if they cool with them or not. Like you don't bring your girl on a guys trip. You don't bring the guys. You don't bring the guys when
On
you're
a
supposed to be
girl.
kicking with your girl.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to. It's just like yo, woman, especially on a trip, they expect to spend that time with you, bro.
Bro, women are selfish. They don't want to share you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But dudes are too.
Yeah, I was gonna say dudes are too.
No,
I was
dudes
gonna
are
say
too.
that.
though.
this is, it's not to say we one sided.
Yeah.
Not to say it's one sided, but just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes us as men, we try to make sure everything works, trying to be that, make sure everybody's perfect, but it's like you can't.
You can't.
Something's gonna lack.
Yeah.
Either the guys on you, your girl on you. It's like, man, my guys, bro, they out in Miami, they trying to kick it. My girl, she trying to do certain excursions, and we weren't able to do certain stuff, so it was just like, it was an L.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it was more stress on the trip than I
Yeah.
did have fun. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was supposed to be my birthday, so then you got the repercussions. You get home, she feeling some type of way. You trying to sauce her up, make her feel better. You spending
Yeah.
bread to get some flowers or something. But man, that's crazy. But you know what? I don't know. What's your relationship status right now?
Single. I'm in a relationship with God.
Okay.
I'm single now. I just got out of a relationship.
How's it feel?
Be out of the relationship, you know, it's good. I'm starting to see a little clearer now. This is my first relationship I was ever in. I allowed myself to be in. So yeah.
Was it painful?
Was it painful? I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in a relationship for like 6 months. It was a girl who I didn't know since I was about 9. So it was.
Wow.
Is the relationship still good?
Is the relationship still good? Yeah, it's still cool. I have to see her. She don't go here, but like she back home. I have to see her like still. So I don't try to make things weird. Like I still try to act normal and try to, you know, act, cause like I can't get past it. Like I'm gonna have to see you. So
Yeah.
it's like, but yeah.
Why didn't it work?
He trying to go deep.
Let's get
He
spicy.
tryna-
Let's
he
turn
tryna-
it
he
up.
tryna go deep.
Let's turn it up. Why didn't it work?
Man, okay. Let me just go in, bro.
Go ahead.
So this, like I said, this is my first relationship. This is a girl who I didn't like since I was, you know, probably like 9 or 10.
Have you had situationships before?
I've had situationships, but I always kept girls in the talking phase. Like even if I knew they liked me, I never went.
What was
to
it? Why you never took it to the next level?
Because I seen too many of my bros getting done wrong in high
Slimy.
school, bro, getting done horrible. And I'm cool with the girls and just seeing like, bro, you really out here doing my bro like this? This is foul. And I guess it was a little bit of fear, like, bro, there ain't no way. Like a girl gonna have to show me, what's it called? She gonna have to show herself like, okay, nah, she really worth it. In high school, I just didn't see it. Like it wasn't really nobody.
No options.
Yeah, it wasn't no options. So yeah, and even now that I'm single, I'm gonna be in the. I don't know if y'all heard of the term friendship dating. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
What does that mean?
Friendship dating means
Y'all heard that before? Friendship dating?
friendship.
You heard that before?
I've never heard that in my life.
I need to hear
Friendship.
That sounds like some bull.
If y'all want to look, if y'all want to read a book, it's called Sex, Dating, and Relationships. You should read it for sure. Bro.
Okay.
It's pretty much what I was doing before. Getting to know girls, having girls show me themselves before they even really know I'm interested, so that I can know if I want to go further. Like I'm not looking
We
for
were
a
talking
girl.
about this.
Yeah. I'm not looking for no girlfriend no more. I'm looking for a wife. Personally, I'm looking for a wife. You hear me?
Look, I agree. I agree.
The girlfriend, I'm just out of that. So I'm not really trying to play games for real. I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm trying to get into bettering my life, get myself financially.
Explain
secure.
friendship dating some more. I
Yeah.
feel like that was too
That
broad.
was a little surface.
I
That
feel
was
like
surface
I understand
level.
what he's saying.
Pretty much, it's just like, okay, I'm pretty much getting to know a girl, and you don't verbally have to let her, because if you think about dating, bruh, it's like, I think about dating like marriage is a brick house. It's a full house. It's a strong foundation. You know what I'm saying? You really can't move a marriage. I mean, you have divorce, but that's why divorce is so like detrimental, because it's a foundation. But in dating, it's like it's a paper house, right? It's a house made out of paper.
Yeah.
And every day y'all walking around with scissors in your pocket. And so at any point in time, for any reason, she sees something on social media, well, why ain't you doing this for me? I'm gonna take them scissors, I'm gonna cut through this, and I'm out the relationship.
Is that easy for you?
Is that easy for me?
Yeah.
To like walk out of the relationship, or to like
Walk out.
No, because I feel like I'm a dedicated dude. That's just the type of dude I am.
Okay.
So but I'm saying, like, with relationships, it gives like a false security. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, you tie down with this person, and for really, you could breathe wrong and they can be out. And you can be out.
So in friendship dating, there is no expectations.
In friendship dating, there's no expectation.
Okay.
It's not like you're lying. You're letting them know. I mean, hey, I'm letting you know. I'm trying to get to know you to see if we could really have something down the line. But it's like, I can't be mad if you talking to other people, because we are literally friends, and I'm just getting to know you on that. Just trying to get to know you until I know, like, you know what I'm saying, I want to go further. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. And it don't, for me, it's like, it don't put no pressures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree.
What y'all think? I don't know.
Maury, let me hear what you. Go ahead, Maury. Let me hear you.
I was finna say, no, friendship dating. Like, I thought of friendship dating, I thought you said it right the first time, was like, you were literally just becoming a friend with this girl, and she doesn't know you're interested at all.
So I get to see her true color. I get
Yeah,
to see
'cause you-
exactly
now-
what
Yeah,
she
but I
is.
feel like what
You know-
you said, that was a little different the second time.
Yeah, you
though.
said the second time you kind of like switched it up just a little bit.
Okay, what was the second time?
Second time you actually said like, you was like, you letting her know like, hey, like, we not like,
I can. You was like, we can get on something, but we just friends right now.
Talking stage.
Like, what's?
Oh, no. Okay, maybe.
no, what you said right the first time though made sense. Like,
Okay.
like a friendship dating is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really dating, but it's just a terminology for it. It's like,
Yeah.
you're getting to know a woman, and she doesn't know that you're interested at all, and she shouldn't know. Like, it should be a surprise to her basically when you like pop up like, hey, let me take you on a date. They like, what? You never showed that you ever wanted to try to get on that with me. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like, but it showed, because then you can see like, man, I could tell how she talk about people. I could tell what type of stuff she into. She not trying to put this facade on because she know I like her. You feel me? Like, she just being
You're
herself.
trying to fake it. She just
not
being
trying to fake
100% her authentic herself.
Is there a difference between talking stages and being in a relationship?
Oh, absolutely.
What's
Yeah.
the difference?
No doubt. Talking stage, there's no
Expectation.
exclusive. Yeah, I was gonna say there's no exclusivity.
So wait, what are you doing in the talking stage?
What are you doing at talking stage?
Talking stage, we going out, we experiencing different things, we going on dates. Are you gonna take her out to a restaurant?
In the talking stage?
Yeah.
I take her out.
Okay, you take her out. You gonna take her on a date. We gonna do some, actions. You're pursuing that person. You're learning them.
Right.
You still do that in a relationship.
So, but what expectations
But
are
what's
there?
the expectation?
Boom.
what's the
you-
difference?
Boom.
The difference is the expectation.
Boom.
If I'm in a talking stage, let's say you're technically not tied to me, so she can be doing this with 4 other dudes as well as you.
Speak.
But there's 2 different types of talking stages, though.
No, there's not.
Yes.
Cap.
I think there is.
Explain.
No.
Explain.
All right, let me speak. There's one talking stage. All right, you might be talking to this person. You really have no expectations, or you really feel like it is what it is. Whatever happens. But there's a second type of talking stage. You're in the talking stage to pursuing to get into a relationship with this person. So one talking stage is like, okay, we just texting every day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might text every other so often. What you doing? What's up? You know what I'm saying? What you on? But then it's something like, you trying to see this girl. You're trying to, let's link. Some girls you might just text, bro. But some girls are like, bro, I'm tired of texting. I'm trying to link.
trying to link 2 different types of talking stages.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's still a talking stage, and it's still, the expectation still is in there. So you can't even get, let's say you trying to get to know this girl. You say,
Yeah.
I'm done texting. Like, let's say whole time because what that is you're starting to really have feelings for this girl. I want to see you. So like, still in that stage, there's still no expectation. So if she over here talking to another dude or being with somebody else, you can't be mad at her because y'all talking. So there's no expectation. Is like she tied down to you. So like, even you want to see her and all that, and you taking her out to eat and you doing all this, whole time she going out with some other dude, and you can't be mad at her.
Maury, back me up on this. I disagree because it also, what's the intentions? I feel like it's a conversation that has to be had with the talking stage. How do you know what the boundaries are or what the expectations are?
Before you say that.
Who said that? How do you know what the boundaries? Who said that? You said that?
Yeah.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you this then. I just lost my thought. If there's a talking stage in a relationship stage, why do you need the talking stage?
That's my point. What's the difference?
But why do you have to call it a talking stage?
So you're saying it's a relationship?
Are you saying they're the same thing?
I'm saying it's the pre-relationship.
But
That doesn't mean you have to look. Just like in stock options, right? You put in for the option, the put or the pull. You know what I'm saying? You're in that trade. You might not execute. You can be in the talking stage. You might decide to be in a relationship, take it to the next level, or you might not. But I'm also saying, like, if you're doing everything that's already in a relationship, what you do in a relationship, what's the difference?
So you saying why not be in? And I've heard this before.
Do you treat women different if y'all in the talking stage and y'all in a relationship?
Tad bit, yeah. Not treat them, but I won't do certain things. Like,
What won't you do?
if we're in the talking stage, I may not give you as much time.
I was thinking that.
My time is more important than money or all of that to me. So like, I may not give you as much. I may not be texting you straight back. Like, once you get into a relationship and there's an expectation, now, like, let's say we're in the talking station, you don't text me back or you don't talk to me for a little while, I may not be tripping off as much. But when I get in a relationship and you ain't talk to me and maybe now it's like, okay, wait a minute, why ain't you? What are you doing? Why aren't you talk to me type stuff? That's a little small thing. I mean, that I'm trying to think. It's other stuff, but it definitely does change when that relationship title come on there, because now the expectation in my mind is that you're for me and I'm for you, and you shouldn't be entertaining nobody else.
I feel like this. I feel like when there's a talking stage, it's the idea of, just like you said, you're setting that paper foundation for the paper house, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like there should be a level of commitment within the talking stage, but that's just like you said, it should come with conversations and boundaries. Like, hey, what are you okay with? What's going on? Is that okay? If it's okay if I'm still talking to anybody else? They might say, yeah, I don't really care. I'm still talking to other people too. But then it gets to the point where you realize whatever you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to get into this relationship with this girl, but up until the point of I asked her out, I was still talking to other people, then it's the idea of like, man, I'm reaping what I'm gonna reap what I sowed beforehand. So it's like, I think like the talking stage should definitely have, it should be stages within the talking stage, 100%, because it's like, how do you really know? How do you really know you wanted to be in a relationship with this person? Why there's a difference between the talking stage and relationship is like, the relationship, that title is me saying like, okay, well now this is the let's start laying the foundation for the brick house. Now that's the difference, because now it's like, all right, well now this title that we put on this means that I have the intention to marry you. I have the intention to marry you. When I make you my girlfriend, I have the intention to marry you down the line. But I have to see if that's gonna happen first. I gotta get to know you more. But the talking stage is like, I want to see if I even can if I even want to marry you first.
Wait, I got a question. Let me go first.
Say yours.
How do y'all feel about women to be like, they not gonna do wifey things because I'm not your wife, or
They're not ready. They're not mature.
What is wifey things? Like, what are we?
So let's say they might not go out or give you everything that you should deserve because y'all in a relationship, because they feel like you're not their husband yet. You got to put a ring on it. You have a girl's like, you got to put a ring on it first for me to do this.
That's cool.
You agree?
That's cool. I mean, I've heard. I'm telling you, I've heard girl like try to get me to pay their bills, like in the dating relationship.
No, bills.
Now, I don't know about
bills
y'all.
is crazy. Bills is crazy.
Try to get me to pay their bills, and it was like but people like a lot of seeing social media, seeing rappers, seeing what they doing for That girls is like girls see that on social media. It's like, why?
I'm not a rapper. I go to school.
Yeah, I mean, it's levels to it, bro. It's levels to it, man.
I mean, me, I pay. Of course, if we gonna eat.
Yeah.
So we gonna get some food. You know, entertainment. You know, we want to go do something. Especially if I want to go do it, like I'm gonna pay. Now, I'm not saying I have to pay every single time, but I'm obviously not saying it's got to be 50-50.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
My bad for cutting you off, bro.
Yeah.
But the idea that a wife, or I mean, that a girl is not gonna do something because she not your wife yet. Well, the only thing, like, marriage is a spiritual tie, but then there's also like the financial tie. That's the difference there, right? But just like I say, you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So if you before we get married and you not doing what a wife would do for her husband, you think that you think
change.
that you think I'm gonna put this ring on your finger.
How you supposed to know if she a wife
what I
if
was
she gonna
waiting
do
for.
this if you marry her?
So we wake up the next day after our marriage, wedding day. We
Everything
wake up
changes?
honeymoon. You think that you all of a sudden just gonna
I'm ready
doing
to
this
be
with
wifey now. What do you want to go do? I'll cook for you.
Nah, it's
I'll
not-
cook for you. I'll make
And
your
it's
bed.
not
I'll
gonna
pedicure
happen.
you. I'll do your hair. Like, you couldn't do that before.
And it's almost like saying, let's say y'all used to argue a whole bunch in a relationship, and then once y'all get married, it's like, okay, once we get married, that's gonna stop. No, it's like in a relationship, you just laying the foundation for what's gonna happen in the marriage.
It's vice
so she
versa,
not
though.
doing it.
I was about to
It's
say
vice
that.
versa. It's men too. We have the responsibility
yeah.
of like showing like this what I'm gonna do as a husband before.
Right.
Because
So, yeah, maybe I disagree with that
since they
statement.
follow our lead, since they do follow our lead, like they expect us to. They want to see, is he even husband material? I
Yeah.
can even show that I can be wifey to him. Like he not doing the stuff a husband gonna do, being a leader, leading a relationship. You know, helping making decisions. You feel me? Like being spiritually connected with God fully. Like if he not doing that, why would I even show him that I can be a wifey? You know, I'm not gonna do that for bro yet. You feel me? Like, but you doing that and she's still not trying to show you acting like, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a red
That's how
flag.
divorce. Yeah, that's how
Red
divorce-
flags.
Yeah.
Red flags.
How would I know if you would be a good wife if you don't show me in the dating?
Yeah, facts.
I can't assume you tell me, oh, you gonna tell me you're gonna be a good wife, but every time I ask you to do something, you know, like I work for the week, I ask you to help make my meal prep. You won't do that. I'm not your wife.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
That's
that's
different.
no facts. No.
Or you know what I'm saying? You want me to do certain things. If I was like, I'm not your husband, even I'm not man enough, or different things like that. Like,
Red flag.
how am I supposed to know you a good wife or you a good relationship? Like
Red flag.
every time I start talking to a girl, I ask them like, what makes you a good girlfriend?
I'm pretty.
They be like, I'm loyal. What? That's given. If you're not that, like,
Well, then you should know. Then that should be your signal to
Yeah,
say.
that should be like the.
but I'm saying though,
This whole aspect of what do you bring to the table, like, I ain't gonna lie, like that. I've heard so many girls like, well, I bring myself to the table. I
Yeah.
bring this pretty face to the table, bro. My gosh, the amount of times that I done heard that. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm in college, but even in high school, the amount of times I done heard that, it's just like, dude, what else do you bring?
what are you bringing?
What else do you bring?
Not ready. Not ready. That's all that says. They not,
Not
ready.
ready? Yeah.
Do y'all believe in marriage counseling?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't never been married, so I really don't even know. But
Like in doing it
I
in the future.
understand.
Yeah, I believe in it.
For sure.
I definitely believe in it.
Man,
What do y'all? I got a question.
go ahead.
What do y'all think about saying "I love you"? Have y'all? what do y'all think? Are y'all saying that to your like somebody you know who your wife? Or are you just saying that to somebody you in a relationship with?
If I'm in a relationship, because
And what does "I love you" mean? Because for me, like I'll tell you, for me, it's always meant like if I love you, I can say it to a friend who's a girl,
Yeah.
and it's one thing. But to say it to somebody who's my significant other, I'm only saying that to you once I'm ready. Like I feel like you my wife. That's like because that's the only way that I can prove. Like if I love you, it's like I want to spend the rest of my life with you. The way that I mean it, especially if you my significant other. I can say like again, I can say it to a girlfriend. It's like okay, I love you, but for a girl who's like I'm trying to pursue like the rest of my life with, it's like the only way that I can say that from my perspective and really mean it is like if I'm ready to spend the rest of my life with you. So I want to see what y'all perspective was on that.
Nah, I agree. Same thing. I've said it a couple times to a couple different females who I thought that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. So
Okay.
L man's for that. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't just say it to anybody. Like if I just started talking to you, you will never hear that from me.
Yeah.
You'll never hear that from me. If we like I can be like 5 months in with you, and if I really feel like we solid, then I would say it. But that's just poor judgment for me, to be honest.
Why is it poor judgment?
Because I think 5 months is like, well, now after the relationship I've been through, 5 months is just too early.
How can you judge your love in 5 months? Some people get married in 3 months and they married 30 years.
Well, then it's too early for me then.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of dudes also say that just to get in between some legs.
That's true. But to answer your question, I don't think you just say I love you with somebody in the talking stage. No, that's crazy. But if we locked in, we in a relationship, we going through certain trials and tribulations. You going home, you venting to this person. They helping you through certain situations. You get into it with your mama or your family member died. One of your homies died. She's helping you with certain things. She's showing you that love. Or y'all had that spiritual relationship. Y'all taking it to the next level and going through different things. And you do have that feeling just because you're in a relationship. Like, you got to know that you love this person before you ask them to marry you. So if you know your girl, we're in a relationship, and you told her you love her, like, but y'all not married yet, you going to tell her you love her before you marry her, right?
Yeah.
But what's the trials and tribulations? What's wrong with telling her you love her if you're in a relationship, though?
That's a good point.
I could be in a relationship with her, but still not know that I'm ready to marry her.
That's true. You can love someone and still not know if you marry them. Just because I love you don't mean you're going to be my wife. Just because I love you don't mean you're not a bad person. You can love. You got family members that you love that still go out and rob and do all these different things. So even
That's my family though.
What's the difference?
That's my family. You're not my wife yet though. Like, how can me saying? That's what I'm saying. It's like different, bro. Friends, it can mean different things. A friend who's a girl, I can say that all day. I do love you, but it's just like it's like a brotherly, sisterly in God type of love in a sense. But like, dude, the magnitude of my wife, like somebody I'm trying to spend the rest of my life with, it's like saying I love you. It's just to me, it just means something totally different. It's just like it holds a different set of weight. It holds a different weight when I say that.
I understand that, but just because you love someone don't mean y'all gonna get married. You can't stop your feelings from a person. You're gonna develop that love naturally.
Yeah,
what's the difference between having love for somebody and loving them?
I have love for you. I've had homies. Let's say the situation, right? No matter whatever the situation is, we no longer homies. I got love for you. I'm gonna support you from a distance. I know I can't have you in my life, but it's always gonna be love. Mm-hmm. It's certain women I've had in my life, and we've had that connection so far. And I know you're not good for me, but it's always gonna be love
For you. Right.
But when I love someone,
could you say you've loved? How many girlfriends have you had? Or is that a fair question?
no, it's okay.
Okay.
We talking about like serious, like
Serious.
me. I've like switched between two, but really it's just my main one I've had,
Okay.
or two or three. Yeah,
Two. Or
let's say three.
Okay, 3. Do you feel you've loved every one of them?
I feel like
or do you feel like you had love for them? Like, I feel like it's just
what's the difference to you?
Had love.
Let me give give me your definition. I'll tell you if I've had love for them or not.
Like, I don't know. When you have love for somebody, it's like you are a very important person to me. I care about you a lot, and we're talking about significant others.
Yes.
Like, I care about you a lot. I really care about your well-being, but like, to love you, to say, like, because love is a choice. So it's like to say that every day that I wake up in the morning, no matter what goes on, no matter what you doing to me, no matter how you make me feel today, like, I'm gonna love you every single day. Like, I love you no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
for that, I feel like I have to get to a certain point. I can't just say that for everybody, but I can have plenty of love for you. But to say that every day, that's a conscious decision, because there's infatuation. You know, obviously they look good, and it's a lot of girls that look good. But to say that you get to a point like no matter what, I'm with you, thick and thin. I straight love you. You know what I'm saying?
I think being in love with someone and going through thick and thin. Let's say this: your cousin a crackhead. Mm-hmm. You love them.
That's the fam.
Look, you love them,
Yeah.
You want nothing but the best for them. You trying to help them. You trying to bring them to rehab. They sneak out of rehab every time. They keep doing crack. At one point, do you say, I love you, I got love for you, but I can no longer put myself through that? So I feel like just because I love my girl and I say I'm through thick and thin, there's always a breaking point. For me, I'm not going to keep putting myself in jeopardy or keep putting my energy into you, and if you're not doing right. So just with your cousin that's a crackhead, you might try. Everybody has a different number. Everybody has a different patience. You might try to help your crackhead cousin 35 times or 100 times. But at some point, there's a breaking point where you just like, I give up.
And that's the difference between when you have love for somebody and when you're in love with them. It's a change in how much you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's it. And when you're in love with your significant other, with who you think is going to be your wife, you're willing to sacrifice anything to continue to be with them.
I wouldn't say anything.
I mean, maybe not like your relationship with God or anything like that.
Relationship with my God, I feel like there's two things for my wife I wouldn't give up. You can't deter me away from my relationship with God, and you can't take me away from my passion.
Or my grind.
Yeah.
And I seen Grant Cardone say this. He said, his wife said, he said, I'll sacrifice anything for you. But if I got to give up my passion and for you, I can't be with you.
There ain't no love there then. If she's making you give up your passion, she don't love you.
Yeah, she did.
So
I'll say that.
Tasha.
I've had, look, to go back, I've had I've had relationships and I've loved them. Now, I can say looking back now, what I feel like love is now, what I probably told a girl I love them, that wasn't love. But I know for certain, I'm not going to say how many of them, I had genuine love.
For them. You probably had genuine love for all of them.
I loved her though. But let's say this. I think your opinion is a little, I don't think you've been in enough relationships to say that though.
That's true. That's true.
Because I think you need to at least have 2 relationships because you've only been in one to tell what it is.
To tell what real love is.
Because like you know what feeling of love is in only
And
one
also,
relationship.
okay, listen, also, the girl who I was with, now I've known this girl for a while,
Yeah.
but she told me that I think she told me that she loved me in like either the first 2 weeks after we started dating or the talking stage. And so when she said that, I didn't even say nothing back. I just looked, I was like, bro, I think she got offended because I didn't say nothing back. I didn't say nothing back. I couldn't say it back.
How do you say that? How do you say like somebody tell you they love you, but like you just look?
Okay.
That's what. No, I didn't say okay. I explained just how I explained to y'all. I explained it to her.
Yeah.
Explained it to her, and she was kind of tripping off it, but then she kind of understood it, and then later on she ended up saying it again. It was a whole thing. But anyway, I say that she said that after 2 weeks, and so I asked her. I said, "Have you ever said this to any other dude?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Oh wow.
But she was like, "But it was always after sex. It was never before." And at first I thought that was a valid answer, but then I was like, I don't know, because she said it so quick. And again, we have known each other since we was kids. So I mean, but I don't know. It just it was really quick. It was really quick.
But do you feel like you can only love one person in your life?
Nah. I feel like you can love multiple people.
Okay.
How so?
Because that's like saying out of the 8 billion people who are in this world, that's a lot of pressure to try to find that one person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if it's like, that means that's like the mindset of soulmate. Like it's one person out here in this 8 billion.
Soulmate isn't real.
Yeah.
You agree?
I used to kind of think that. I used to kind of think like it's just one person, but no.
I don't know. I think
Timing and compatibility have a lot to do with it as well. Compatibility is really the more. Do y'all think y'all can really live with each other?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all lives kind of match? Do y'all values match?
I believe in a soulmate, but I don't think that the soulmate is the only person that you could live life with.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole purpose. I feel like the soulmate, like it's one person out here, or that's kind of what my impression was, like it's one person out here who's for me. one.
No, I think soulmate more so I think it's a spiritual thing that like a soulmate is someone who you spiritually connect with in a way that you don't connect with anybody else.
I agree with
And
that.
it's only one person?
I agree with Mark say.
Yeah.
I agree with that because you can have ties with a lot of people, live with these people that go through multiple marriages, XYZ, but there should be really one person that God has ordained for your life, and that's the person that you should be with. Now, if you don't end up finding that one person that you have forever, you didn't have a soulmate, bro. That's just how God ordained it for you, bro. You just didn't end up having the person that you had spiritually, that God ordained for you spiritually to be together.
So are you saying that God didn't make that person for you?
There was just nobody there. That was not how He ordained it to happen.
God doesn't make people for other people.
No, let me say something. I feel like that's not true because let's say you have a soulmate. We all got soulmates. Everybody on the couch got a soulmate.
Well, what's the case? What is a soulmate then?
Let me finish. We all got soulmates, and God designed that one person for you. Let's say I end up marrying your soulmate. You marry his soulmate, and we mixed up. It's 8 billion people in the world. Everybody had a soulmate. If one person married the wrong person,
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. If God made somebody specifically for me, that person was gonna be with me. Without a doubt. And I don't even think God works like that. He doesn't design people specifically for another person. That's not how He works. So that scenario it wouldn't even go. And I don't think that soulmate, it's a spiritual connection with one person, but it's not the fact that that's the only person for you. The thing about soulmate is that spiritual connection with that person is so unique that you would not find it in anybody else. But that doesn't mean that you still can't find love and deep love, relationship, marriage love for another person.
I feel like, again, a lot of it also has to do with timing.
Yes.
Like timing is the big, picture. There may be time, like there may be a girl you may see now, but it's literally just like the wrong timing, the wrong place and time. Like y'all go to 2 different colleges and y'all doing 2 different things to where y'all won't be able to pursue that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, then if you say that, my thing is this, right? What a soulmate really is it's the person that God ordained for you to spend the rest of your life with. Even if they've been with anybody else before, that's the person that when y'all end up together, that's it. Nobody else. You don't end up with nobody else after that, right? And you gotta understand. You say timing, right? Soulmate has nothing to do with the physical realm at all. If we're saying soul, we're talking about something outside of time, right?
That's deep.
It's a soul tie. It's a soulmate. So we gotta understand how God works is this. If God is an eternal being, He's outside of time, right? There's no beginning, no end for God. There's an eternal presence. So how God is a snapshot of everything at once. If God ordained how God works is ordained, and you say perfect timing, yes. God timed it that way. He timed it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like the perfect timing comes from His, or that was His ordinance. Like he made it where in this specific time period, in this exact time, this is who is. You think about people in the Bible who come across Abraham. You know what I'm saying? Like all the different generations that came after him that birthed Jesus. You feel me? Like Moses, XYZ, people like that. Like God ordained these people at these specific time periods, at these specific areas in time for them to serve a certain purpose. And if it's a soulmate, then they serve that purpose for you, that spiritual tie. And if they've been with other people before you, the soulmate is a person that when you do get with them and you never knew that was the person who's going to be, you could have been with other people before too. But when you end up with them, that is the person that y'all end up, y'all are spiritually connected until to the physical body passes away. There's nothing else there. You feel me? So that's what I think about when I say soul. A soulmate is not of the, you can't think about it in physical terms because you're saying soul. That's nothing to do with my body. It has nothing to do with like, hey, I messed with this person before. No, it has everything to do with God and how He ordained that to play out. You feel me? So it's nothing has about. It's not a coincidence that the timing played out perfectly. If it was a coincidence, nothing's a coincidence. You feel me? That's the thing we gotta understand. It's not a coincidence.
It's intentional.
It's intentionality by God. Literally, it's not. It's nothing's a coincidence, bro. If we're saying that He is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, sure, then we're saying that nothing happened by accident. So that person you end up being connected with forever, that soul tie, that soulmate, that person is outside of time. So that connection was outside of the realm of how we could have even thought it could have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like it's only because of God.
Okay, so does God? So you're saying God puts everybody in your life for a reason, correct?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
If God already has a plan for all of us, does God let you marry the wrong person and go through divorce to know that person wasn't for you?
Yes.
He ordained that
I'll say he allowed
He'd
it.
allowed
he
it.
allows
He
it.
allowed
He
it.
doesn't.
I thought God doesn't condone a divorce. Once you make that,
But
marriage,
he
He
all right.
does
doesn't
not
condone, but
condone
he
it,
allows
but
it.
it's your choice. At the end of the
Like
day,
free will.
we're human. We
Free
have
will.
free. God's gonna let us do that. Now, would that be the best decision for us? No. But again, that was on us, and I feel like also God would have probably gave some like implications of like this probably isn't the best thing for you to do. But if you're gonna do that, you can, but you just may not have what you could have had in a sense. I definitely heard that. I was
like
talking to
that.
my pastor about that. Yeah.
He allowed. That's why I like what you said, Mark. God allows for things to happen. That's why we have free will. That's why the terrible thing stuff. God allows for this stuff to happen. God's like, hey,
You can choose.
it's on you.
Yeah.
Now you have the choice to choose my way though, and my way is different from the rest. It's radical. That's why finding a wife, the whole idea of friendship dating, that if I was single and if I was single and I was not in a relationship, how I would be going about life would be in that exact way. I'm not looking. I'm not. This girl would not even know I like her.
Yep.
She wouldn't know until the time comes to the time where I'm like, I pray to God enough where He's like, hey, this might be the time.
And that's
to-
hard.
to move forward.
That's hard.
That's hard.
That's not easy to
Talk-
do.
talk
about it.
Especially being
Talk
a young
about it.
man, you know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
The feelings, it's hard. It's
Tough.
very hard to do. It's not something that's easy. And even when you try to speak that, like this thought process of the whole friendship dating, a lot of people look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
I was in that sex dating relationships book. I was reading, there's like 3 relationships mentioned in the Bible. There's your, what's it called? There's like your family relationships,
Okay.
like relationships amongst the family. There are a marriage relationship, and then there is like your neighbor. And that's pretty much anybody who you're not married to or anybody who's not your family. There's no mention of dating in the Bible at all. Like the Bible doesn't talk about that. So, yeah. And like when you talk about like sex and different things, the Bible obviously does not condone sex with your family members. Like that's been,
Yeah.
and the only institution where sex is allowed really is in marriage. So anybody who's your neighbor or anybody who's outside of marriage, like you shouldn't be doing that with. And I think it was just talking about like trying not to be tempted at all. Like it's 'cause you have to intentionally put yourselves in, like don't intentionally put yourselves in situations where you can be tempted easily.
Yeah.
Like
Let's talk about it, bro. Temptation is wow.
ridiculous.
Let's talk about
in
this.
in a world full of go ahead. Go
Temptation,
ahead.
temptation for real. You know what my barber taught me, right? Bro, everybody barber, that's like your therapist. But your barber, bro, you talking to your barber, it's like if your barber
gonna give
older,
him-
he give you that knowledge, like you know what I'm saying? So
I cut hair as well. So
yeah, so my barber, right? Corey, this is a shout out to you. He said the biggest thing you got to do as a young man is know how to manage your thirst.
self-control.
He said as a young cat, bro, he said, bro, he had like a few kids, bro. He got like 6, 7 kids, bro. Going through baby mama drama and doing this. And like he would mess up and not be focused or lose on different opportunities. He was just trying to get some coochie. And bro, the temptation, bro, it's like, bro, sometimes you know you should not be messing with a girl, bro. You still do it, bro.
That's where self-control comes
It's that
in.
self-control. It's like, man, bro.
I feel like the most
It's hard.
dangerous thing as a man, if you have self-control, you can pull any woman you want to, any woman you want to pull.
Yeah.
Because it's not going. You can't let sex like rule you in
Yeah.
a sense, like or entice you to do certain things. Now, it's not easy. It's literally a fight every single day. But if you can start to come to some level of self-control, you'd be good.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like when it comes to temptations, if we're talking about like sexual temptation, it's easy to like, man, I'm not gonna put myself in the scenario where I'm around all these women that I could end up trying to mess with at XYZ. But what about the woman that you actually end up liking, right?
Yeah.
So now y'all spending intimacy time together, and God still says no, not yet. Wait on it, right? That temptation, that's something that people don't really talk about. Is like the temptation of when that you're actually you might be dating this person, or you might be intimacy. It's a lot of intimate connection, but God says still wait. How do you wait? You know what I'm saying? How do you continue to fight that battle? What do y'all say?
Intentionally don't put yourselves in certain situations. And when you say like don't pursue, are you saying like don't date her, or what do you when you say like wait, not yet? Like, are you saying don't let her know?
I'm talking about the sex. Like wait.
Oh,
yet.
don't have sex.
Yeah.
It quite literally. I can speak. My last relationship. I don't think there's any. It's all the preparing I need for like any woman ever. Like there was so much. I can't name a dude. If it was any dude in my position, he would have folded. 100%. I'd be like 100%. You know what I'm saying? I used to have to tell her like, you can't say certain stuff to me and just think that I'm not gonna like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I want to say it over the camera, but
It's up to you, bro.
you know what I'm
If you want
saying?
to drop some gems, drop some gems.
Just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, being real, do y'all think if y'all was in a relationship, you could turn down head from your girl?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
You could.
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Then I'm sitting in like-minded people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna say 100% of the time, but I'm gonna be honest.
Well,
It's the best policy.
Yeah.
it's not easy to do, and even in that, like especially when you're in a relationship, obviously the person you're in a relationship, you have some type of attractiveness toward them.
Yeah.
So you have to literally put yourself in positions to where you can't mess up. Like, not saying limited time spent together, but it's like we can't be. I try to be out in more public spaces. You know what I'm saying? Around people, like being in closed space where we're just me and you. No, I can't do that too much because I know myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's when the self-control comes in. It's like, okay, I'm not even gonna put myself in the situation so that I can mess up. Because the more we're alone and we looking at each other and it's just like, no, this is not gonna turn out.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
feel
I'm
like the key, because I'm in a relationship and I'm celibate for me like more than 8-9 months. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent,
So
yeah.
like it's the idea of like I realize that the deeper that I am with God, the deeper that I am with my walk, the less I even want to. But anytime that I'm lacking in my walk with God, that is exactly when all the temptation starts to overflow and overcome me. Because then I start to look at God like, why don't you want me to have this again?
Yeah.
Like, I want this right now, actually. Like, what the heck, bro? Like, this is my girl. Like, I know I want to spend a life with her. You know what I'm saying? So it's the idea of like, how deep is your walk with God? Because people try to say like, man, I know we're not supposed to have sex, but then it's like, bro, when's the last time you even prayed over that, bro? You're not praying to God to say, no one wants to ask God for me to not have those feelings toward not feel that right now, to be strong, have that self-control, to make sure that we not putting ourselves in those situations where we want to have sex. You feel me? Like, and that it's a spiritual battle because God made sex and He likes sex, bro.
So
It's how we multiply the earth.
I was gonna say, it kind of tells you about your friendship with God, what kind of friendship you in. Because my thought process is like, if I'm okay with her giving me head, or if I'm okay with having sex with her, then I'm okay with flipping God off. I'm okay with saying to God, like, I like you, bro, but I want this more than that.
100%.
It's like, it's literally hostility toward him. It's almost to me like you want beef with God.
Explain that, because I'm just trying to see that perspective. Like,
Yeah.
So like, okay, so like think of your spiritual body, man. Your spiritual body, it's supposed to be you and God because you're not married with anybody else. Y'all best friends. You and God are homies. At least you're supposed to be. But then there's this female who comes up to you and she says, I'm willing to do this for you, knowing that it's against God. And you do that, you're basically telling God, who's supposed to be your homie, your best friend, supposed to be your day one. You're telling God, look, you ain't that important to me. I'm about to go do this because this is what I want to do. And that's hostile. That's hostile action.
Yeah, I say it's like the idea of like when you do that, you're basically saying, God, I don't trust what you say is right for my life. That's basically what you're saying. You're saying like, I believe what the world and everyone around me says is that this is this is what we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people forget that it's like the drive for sex and that is so strong within a male's body. It's strong within a woman's body. It's strong because that's how God made it. He wanted it to be. He wanted it to feel amazing. That's why He did it, and that's why we create kids from it. It's like it's not a coincidence, right? But now imagine how much discipline you have in your overall life when you can control your body, when you can control what you do. You can control with your body. If I can control the fact that I won't have sex with this girl, everything else in my life, the discipline and the self-control that I have to continue to wake up at 5 a.m., continue to hop into my trades, continue to pray every morning. The discipline that I have is the fruits of me saying no to the world and yes to God. It's the fruits of it. You know
And it kind of
go
go back to like what you were saying about your barber, or with your barber saying like, how he was just, he wasn't focused because he was trying to go get some coochie. Like, he literally couldn't even focus. Like lack of focus, you know what I'm saying? Lack of being on your grind. Anytime a girl can get you, like has so much power over you that she can get you off of your own grind. For me, like my entrepreneur type, producing and cutting hair and school and God, like whatever that may be, anytime that happens, it's a problem because I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let me say this to any female or male who's watching this and is trying to start that process. It is not a flip of the switch.
And it's not easy.
It's not a flip of the switch.
It's literally a battle.
It's one day at a time, but it's what you're willing to do. So if it's willing to not take somebody back because you know what they be on, or if it's willing to not put yourself, like Sterling was saying, in an area that you know will tempt you. It's doing those little things, and those little things are showing that, okay, I want to get better. And I was talking with my therapist the other day about like the things that I've been dealing with. And he's like, dude, you've been living like 20-something years one way, one wicked way, and you've only been doing the right way for about 6 months. You're switching a habit that's just in you. And that takes time, and naturally you're going to want to go back to that habit because it's comfortable, it's normal, it's what you know. So you just got to take your time and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
That was deep.
That's deep, bro. That's deep because like it's so ingrained. It's like you plant something in your life and it builds up into a tree. You can't just take scissors to try to cut down a tree. You need an axe, bro. And then how many times you got to swing that axe?
Yeah.
You might need a chainsaw.
You know what he said? I've never heard this before. He was talking about a thermostat, bro. He said, imagine you live in a house and that whole time you live there, the thermostat has been on 45 degrees. Somebody come in the house and they change it to 50. You're going to want to change it back to 45, but every time you change it back to 45, they put it back up to 50. So what you start doing is you putting on more clothes and you get comfortable with that 45. And then over time, somebody else comes in the house and pumps it up to 50. And you're like, no, let's keep it at 45. That's crazy.
Conditioning your body. Even like in the Bible when it talks about just like we fight not against, or like we fight against principalities and not of like things of flesh and blood, but like principalities of like different spirits. Like we're literally fighting against our own nature. You know what I'm saying? Every day, like it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a brawl. Every time you with that girl, every time it's gonna literally, you gonna have to fight. It's not gonna always be. It becomes easier in some spots, but it's never gonna be 100% to where like you just said, we was made to want to go after the opposite sex. So it's just like
Exactly.
there's something that's in us.
Exactly. And it's like what God wants, God hates instant gratification. He hates it. That's the whole reason why it's so much patience in the Bible. That's why everything is that's why people hate it so much. Following God, they hate it so much because what is our life now? Our life is no longer a crock pot. Everything's a microwave. Everything's instant gratification. We have instant gratification when we open up our phone and we instantly have information right on the tip of our fingers. You know what I'm saying? Our phone is a form of an idol, or it's a form of a God. I know this phone has everything I need in it. I open it up and have instant gratification. Instant gratification, I want my meal now. I don't want to wait, and I don't want to cook it. I don't want to wait and have it in a crock pot, sit for overnight. I want it now.
I don't want to go get it. I want to deliver.
I want to deliver now. Exactly. Everything's instant gratification, and that destroys your mind. And it's the same thing with even like porn. It's the same thing with anything that gives you a quick dopamine rush. The chemical levels in your brain will change because of that. You constantly. So now the normal things in life. That's why it's like so important to control your body, even with having sex before marriage. Is like the normal things in life, you start to experiencing them differently because of you're no longer looking for that dopamine rush that comes from having sex outside of marriage. You know what I'm saying? Now you can experience certain things and have a different type of dopamine rush, and then you experience life at a really good rate. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely like God hates that instant gratification. Stop looking to get stuff now. That's the same thing. People always say patience. People always say consistency is key. Well, what is that? That means that's consistency
every day.
Consistency is the idea of no instant gratification. You're not going to see it now. You're going to see those super small results over a span of few years that creates an overall structure.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing of you saying no to sex. you saying, let me stop doing what I'm doing right now. And God rewards the people that say no to instant gratification, because it's not an easy feat, bro.
And when you think about it, not just with sex, but like, I feel like in a world that we live in, it's kind of hard. I mean, it's kind of easy in a sense to be successful. And when I say that, it's because people don't want to do the work. Like, a lot of people don't want to do the work. Thinking about me, think about your trading and stuff, or any type of entrepreneur type of thing. Everybody sees the benefits of somebody who's been doing it for years, and they're like, I want it. I want that now. I think I want to get that. But when they start to get into it, they don't see, no, the people who've been doing that have been doing it every single day. We failed and failed and failed, and dang near wanted to quit. But the consistency, woke up, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again, and little by little, it starts to turn around. It starts
skating.
Skating. Little by little, you see Justin over here going crazy, but little by little, it starts to turn around until you finally, after you just wake up one day and it's like, okay, I'm successful in a sense. But you've been doing it every single day, and it's been, even when you wake up at 5 a.m, it's like, dang, that little 10 minutes. I want to go back to sleep,
Snooze.
bro. I want to go back. But you have to have a vision in your head. Okay, no, even though in this feeling like right now, I'm looking towards what I'm trying to get to. And that's what's going to get you through that moment at 5 a.m. when you got to get up. You know what I'm saying? So
And that takes me back to God, dude, because literally something I have been praying about is to allow me to appreciate the work in between, because it's literally you have more appreciation for the success when you lived the work behind it.
when you worked it.
You want it more and you value it more, versus if he just gave it to you.
If it just happened over, just
You wouldn't
like
trust
this,
him.
you don't care as much.
And I was in one of my vlogs, I was telling them, like, this vlogging stuff is not easy. Like, this stuff cannot be easy
It's
to do
not
every
easy.
day.
Especially the editing.
And it's like I was crying because I didn't have, not for real, but I was like, I was just mad because I want like the top tier stuff right now. And I want the pro Final Cut and all that kind of stuff, the best kind of camera. But God was telling me, he's like, dude, I gave you a pencil, but you want markers. I gave you a pencil and all you're doing is writing with it. You don't realize you can shade with a pencil, you can create detail with a pencil, but you want the marker. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say is, don't negotiate with your mind. When that 5 o'clock hits, you know we always got that thought in the head, like, man, should I get 10 more minutes?
It's
Like,
not a choice.
it's not a choice. Like, your mind is against you. So what you tell yourself, I said we getting up at 5.
We getting up at
We
5.
getting up at 5.
Oh, I like that, boy.
Look, when I say we gonna make 10 clips or I'm shooting 5 podcasts, it's not a negotiation. It's not man, I'm not feeling it. I said we're doing it. I said I'm gonna cook for the week. I'm not gonna eat out. I'm doing it. It's not no, I don't feel like it. It's
I'm doing this.
I've already said it. We're doing it. So get up and do it.
And you have to take that into not only that, but into so many with porn.
Everything.
As a person who used to watch porn,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes they had these little no nut November or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's where you don't do it for a whole month, and then even if you say, okay, I'm not going to do it for 2 months, you may be able to attain that, but the day that the clock strikes that 2 months, you gonna try to make up for all the time you relapse. And so the only way that you can get out of these mentalities, whether that be drugs, whether that be porn, whether that be whatever it is, you literally have to make, or at least for me, you have to make it up in your mind where this is not an option, kind of like what he just said.
Yeah.
Whatever you're trying to do, whatever goals you're trying to set, I can feel like this, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this. This is what I said. This is what's gonna go, despite of how I feel. Like that's what's gonna change. That mindset really changes everything once you start holding yourself accountable to what you said, because that really changes everything.
That's knowledge, y'all. I needed that.
Yeah.
Even with women, you know, I've had this thing now, and I went through a relationship, and I've been in my healing process and just learning different things and reflecting on what I could have did better and being a better man, leading in different situations. Because as a man, we set the tone for everything. And you know what I'm saying? If you at home, when you cursing your girl out, all this, like if you cursing at your girl, you can't not expect her to curse back at you. If you doing certain situation, or you going out with your homie being reckless, you can't get mad at your girl for going out and being reckless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not to say, but you're somewhat of a role model too with your girl, and just you have to be the best, even with your kids. Like I can't be mad at my son for going out into high school selling drugs when he see me when my homie come over and kids see everything, or like people see everything, like something so small. So definitely when it comes to women also, it's like you also have to be able to be okay with letting a woman go if she's not ready to follow your path.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned.
The power of saying no.
And that's something I learned. And, you know, you want to be so bad. I wanted to be with a person so bad. Like, I would compromise what I feel like the vision, or what God's vision he was telling me what the relationship should go or where it should be. And sometimes that can also be like, you're not listening to God when you're saying, okay, like, oh, she not okay with it. But God's saying, y'all need to lead this way.
Yeah.
If we not going this way, then I got to be okay with just letting it go. It's not for me.
Boom. On me, I definitely think like people get too caught up in, you know, even just like when it comes to leading a woman, or whoever it comes to, you know, trying to stay consistent, XYZ. Like, you can have the vision, but you got to remember that regardless, I can't be thinking like, bro, man, I gotta do this. I gotta, even when we talking about back to the comments, like wait until sex 2 minutes. I gotta wait till marriage, bro. Who knows how long that's gonna be? No, you don't have to think that way at all. It's day by day.
Yeah.
Can I conquer? All I have to think about, can I conquer today?
Do another 24 hours.
That's it.
Another 24 hours.
Don't worry about. It's a verse that says tomorrow has enough worries of its own. So why are you consistently thinking about how am I going to do this for the next week, or how am I going, man, XYZ? Like, nah, bro, conquer today. That's all you have to worry about. Tomorrow has enough worries of its own. Tomorrow's going to bring its own problems and troubles. So just focus on conquer the day. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like one of the biggest things I used to hear it a lot when I was younger, but one of the biggest things like that'll change everything is your perspective. Just changing how you look at things. It's like the amount of power in that is just crazy. Like just seeing how you look, the viewpoint of, instead of saying, you was talking about a girl, saying like, let's say in our grind or whatever we trying to do. I get the opportunity every day. First of all, God woke me up. I get the opportunity every day. I get another 24 hours to pursue my craft and to please God every day I wake up. Just changing that mindset rather than being like, oh, I woke up and I'm tired. Or like, no, I woke up. Now I get another day to get further in what I'm trying to do. Just a simple little tweak like that just changes how you see things.
It's even in your speech of like, it's even a speech of saying something like, let's say like, man, I don't even want to smoke no more. I don't smoke no more. It's like saying, instead of saying, you know, I don't want to smoke no more. I'm trying to stop smoking. What you're indicating is saying, I still am a smoker, but I'm trying to stop.
Right.
But instead of saying, I'm not a smoker.
I'm not a smoker anymore.
I'm not a smoker.
I stopped.
I stopped. I'm not a smoker indicates I don't smoke anymore. Even if you relapse later on, you're putting the title on like, that's not who I am. I messed up. That's not who I am though. Yeah. I'm not a smoker. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Or if it comes to even the idea of when it comes to sports, or if someone that wants to pursue basketball, let's say you just picked up basketball for the first time yesterday. Someone say, oh, you hoop, bro? You're going to say, oh, I'm trying to learn. You're saying that I'm not a hooper, but I'm trying to learn. Instead of saying,
I hoop. I am a hooper.
Yeah.
Perspective.
I picked the ball up yesterday, but I'm a hooper.
Perspective.
Y'all spitting knowledge, boy.
Perspective, bro. Like, it really changes.
And that's why we on a trillion perspectives, because it's like, it changes your mind. Like, so many times we just think everything we think is right. Everything, how we see things. But it's like, man, it's 4 different opinions right here. There's 8 billion people in the world.
Yes.
Like,
that's a whole lot of people.
So many people think differently than what we think. You know what I'm saying? So it's just good to see, like, and it's sure people that's watching this podcast, you know, think differently. And it's okay. It's open for discussion. And you might value somebody's opinion in a comment. You might not. But it's just important to, you know, shine some light on, like, there's so many different perspectives. And if you change yours, if your perspective every day is you like, man, the world's against me. God don't love me. No, you're just not walking with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Everybody's fault is this, but like Amari said, own 100% of your percentage of your fault of what you did.
And my bad. That low-key makes me ask the question, what's the right perspective? Out of 8 billion people who have the perspectives, everybody's perspective may change and they may be beneficial in certain ways, but like, what's the right perspective?
There is none.
Well, I was gonna say this. That too, but I was gonna say, if God's intentional, there is 8 billion people on this earth with different perspectives. What does that say about God? What does that say? How many different ways He is looking at a situation?
Wow.
Infinite.
That's my perspective right there. My perspective, I'm not saying it's perspective for everybody, but I would wish it on everybody. You know what I'm saying? I pray about it for everybody is to have an eternal perspective. That's my perspective. Is an eternal perspective is the idea of that our physical bodies will rot away and that we are eternal beings. You know what I'm saying? So the idea of when I look at you, I'm not looking at you for the jewelry you got on your neck. I'm not looking at you for your status. I'm looking at you like you're a soul that's heading somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You're a soul that has a destination, an eternal destination, and you know, eternity is now, bro. Eternity is now. Once our bodies pass away, we are still going to be living in the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that may look like, something we can't comprehend. But that's everybody might not have the eternal perspective. You feel me? But I pray about it for everybody. I pray that people can gain an eternal perspective. You feel me? So just like you said, there's no one right perspective. God has so many perspectives. But one thing He's very clear about in the Bible is having an eternal perspective on life. It's like Stop looking at the world from a worldly perspective. Look at it through God. Look at it through my eyes.
Through His lens.
Look at it through His lens. You know what I'm saying? Like
you are speaking right now.
And that's a hard thing to do because we ain't God. Shoot,
we're humans. We in this flesh and blood, so it's kind of
wow.
Yeah.
He gives us a lot of insight though about how to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you want to do it? You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy way to do it. You feel me? Like someone that makes you extremely mad, you want to hold a grudge on them. God says that you don't hold no grudges. You're supposed to have humility. The person spit in your face, man, you got to go kiss him on the cheek. Can you do that?
No, but
high bar.
I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
High bar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want to do a topic change, right?
All right, bet.
We had this conversation the other day. I'm not going to say who the conversation was with, but what is the issue with, I feel like a lot of time black women or why does everybody want their child to date the same race? I feel like
who wanna go ahead.
Even being guilty in situations where I bring a girl home, it's like you can tell when your mama don't treat the girl the same as if she was black. And I think that's just like, in my perspective, I was like, if you happy, you happy. That's all that matters to me. But I feel like there's a lot of black people say they wouldn't, or people say they wouldn't date different races because they can't relate with them.
I'm one of them. I'm one of those people. But not necessarily because I can't relate. So I feel like God is so much bigger than like a race.
Yeah.
He's bigger than racism and all that. And people who can, anybody can date any race and it can be successful. But what for me, it's just really seeing what you want to deal with. Like if I were to date and fall in love with a white woman,
okay,
that's gonna come with a lot. That's gonna come with a lot.
What does it come with?
It comes with me being a black man. It comes with me society pressures of me being a black man and dating a white woman. Just how society's viewing me, how my family's viewing me. Some people say you don't marry the family. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And when I say that, I'm saying like, if your mama, your sister, your dad, and some of your family members, if they don't like your wife, that's going to create some problems. You can put your foot down for sure and tell no, this is the woman I love for sure. But that's just gonna have to say like, is this something that I want to deal with in the future if I marry this person? And not only that, but just seeing media and how the police brutality, certain things that let's say a black man's with a white woman, certain things that a lot of people see that a white woman may not understand or may not be able to just fully relate to in a sense. Some definitely can, but I feel like it's just, what do I want to deal with? Do I want to deal with this? Some people have that. I will deal with this, and I'll embody that. Me, first of all, I just find black women more attractive. Me personally,
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
But let me say this though. Every point you said was valid.
Yeah.
But I don't think you putting yourself first in that situation. If this
I'm
is
not
woman,
putting myself.
What was the
first.
question, JT?
The question was, why do black parents or even different races, they only want your kid to date that same race? Like black mom, like, I want my son with a black woman. But let me finish first. Then you can go. You talked about everybody but yourself. You talked about bringing her home, what your mom gonna think. You talked about society, what they're gonna think. What do you think you love this woman, you feel like she's a great person, she could be a great mother to your kids, but you care about everybody else's opinion but yours.
Well, and I do care about my opinion for sure.
Yeah.
Cause I said for me, I'm just going with a black woman.
Okay.
A guy would have to come down in the physical form and literally tell me like, "Hey, you gonna be with this white woman," and then he would have to come down in physical form. That's just for me. But
let me say this. No, because since your question said why is that the case? Then we got to answer why instead of saying like, would you? There's a difference between a question like why is that the case, and then would you date a person outside your race? You know what I'm saying? There's two different questions and answers to that. But like the question of why is because of, think about any type of preset thing you before your child's even born that you would want them to be. Anything. It doesn't have to do anything to do with race. You want them to, man, I want my kid to be successful. I want my kid to hoop or something, man. I can see my kid being a hooper. I want to be a hooper. Maybe, if he played volleyball, shoot, I want to do that too or something. I don't know, man. If I just want him to be happy, XYZ. Like, you have all these preset ideas of what you want your kid to be or what you want your kid to do. So when certain things happen and it's not the way you thought about it, sometimes there's a disappointment in that. You feel me? But that has nothing to do with your happiness. Now the question is like, should you date outside your race? Why not? If I was talking about earlier, if we're all eternal beings, I'm not looking at you from the physical standpoint.
right.
I'm only for me personally, and if I was single, I'm only judging you off of what's your depth with God.
Yeah.
That is where I'm looking. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's your depth with God, and in turn, everything in your life will be the fruits of that. If you're deep with God, I don't care what you look like, bro. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there has to be some physical attraction, but I don't care what race you are. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why does that matter?
It doesn't. But from a parent's perspective, you got to remember there are certain expectations for your child that you will always have. I want my kid to have straight A's. I want my kid to be a straight A student before they're even born. That at the end of the day, that's something. That is a perspective, and that's an idea that's preset. And that same idea is preset within a race. Then I want my kid to date a black person. That's just what I want for them. You feel me? Now, I think it's wrong for parents to make it hard for the person that if they date outside the race and they make it hard for the other race to feel comfortable and stuff like no, bro, that's bogus, man. You can have the idea of I want my kid to be, but your kid gonna do whatever they're gonna do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now you should be supportive. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you might not condone certain things. I might not condone. Let's say your parent don't condone you dating outside the race, but they welcoming, completely supportive of everything that you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Have given you advice on how they would move on certain things
right.
instead of trying to shut you out or make it hard for you to feel the other person to feel loved because they're a different race. So
right.
those are two different questions that have different answers to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, why and then would you? Two different questions. You feel me? Like that's what I'll say.
I also think as far as why, it's your parents' willingness to be able to be open to another culture. A lot of parents are not open to other people's cultures because they're stuck in their ways, and that's like when you get older, you're more likely you're going to get stuck in your ways, and people don't want to have to deal with the fact that this is something new that I have never experienced before that I don't know how to take in. It's too much. I feel like I'm too old to be dealing with this. Just go find somebody that we know.
Yeah. A lot of people don't.
I
want
think
that
that's
culture.
sinning and wrong.
Well, a lot of people don't. Want,
I think that's sinning and wrong.
I think it could be. Yeah.
God says, "Love your neighbor like you love thyself." And if you, I'm gonna say this for a fact. Not saying this is everyone, but there's a lot of people like, bro, I don't want no white women. I hate white people. Oh, this, bro. That's how parents be. They put some of the energy or something like, bro, this girl or my girl. If I bring home a white woman, she's probably never did nothing from you. You've never met this woman in your life, and for you to look at her differently, that's wrong to me.
Definitely, 100% wrong. 100%
Wrong.
But if we say the why people think that way, it's
Experience.
It's experience. Now,
why is different.
I'll say this. For two things. Culture, one, right? Some parents do not want their culture to be diluted by another culture. That's what some people like. Let's say a Latino culture. You date outside your race. They don't want that culture to be diluted by someone else's culture. That's just a thought process that some people have. Is like, man, if you date this white person, you date this black person, then will our traditions and family values that we continue to have, will that be the same? Like continuing on our last name and everything? Probably not. It will be versed. It'll be mixed in with different families, right? And I'm not saying that's not right. I'm not saying that's right, but that's the thought process. And the second thought process, instead of just culturally, it's also just the idea of like, I forgot my second point, but low key, yeah.
experience.
Definitely, it's not right, JT. It's not.
It's not right, but
it's not right at all.
also experiences. You already know with black and white. You
That's what I was
you
gonna say.
already know experiences.
That was my second
Like
point.
really fear. Really, a lot of fear. A lot of stories you hear. A lot of what I'm saying. It's sad, but just our history. Black and white, it ain't always been the best, what I'm saying?
That's my second point, too.
That's why it's not right for parents to have that mindset, but I can see how they can have that mindset, especially with
It's some parents
That's a
that
selfish mindset, though.
I think that
selfish.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
It's some parents.
That's your
Look,
perspective.
it's some parents, the 100% though. Like some parents, like we're young, we're in a younger generation where we feel comfortable, where we can talk to other people,
Yes.
XYZ. So like we think about we gotta think about what was instilled into our parents. Though.
Parents,
Like
1960s,
our parents, their grandparents was going through times where the other race hated them and wanted to see them dead. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
And quite literally that.
If you mess with not only black, if you mess
with
with a white, you
get
could
killed.
die. You could die.
Don't mess with them, you die.
Know what I'm
because of
saying?
that.
Yeah.
Emmett Till, you know what I'm saying? We see stuff like that. So you think that's a perspective. It's like, man, that's ingrained into our grandparents, they parents. You feel me? They're like, don't measure things. You gonna die if that's the case. They will kill you.
On top of rape, like now, even in that, if a white girl accuses a black man of rape, I don't have to have done it. But if he accuses me, it's done.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of fear in that with our parents. I don't want you to potentially have to go down that road. Not saying that it will happen, but that's just always a thought.
Our future generations, the generations that we're raising up now, that we're going to be raising up, are going to be totally different from our parents.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the racial diversity, racial inclusion, things have been changing over time. You know what I'm saying? When we grew up, the first president that we can actually have true memory of and actually remember is our first president was Obama at our age. Realistically, any president before that, you were not truly old enough to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
You were what? 6,
7 years
4.
old, yeah.
You don't really understand. You don't really have a true understanding of what they did, what their leadership principles was. We saw our first president as black. Imagine that what it does to our mind. Imagine back in the day, they say, man, you be a white. What do you want to be when you go to a black kid? They're like, you need president. The whole class laughing at you. You ain't no black president. What? Now our thought process is like,
I can do anything.
I can do anything.
I can do anything I want to do.
yeah, but it's
Now the rain is gone.
Exactly. So it's like we're gonna be raising up totally different generation than our parents. So that's why like some of our parents' ideas are definitely outdated because of what they've been taught by our grandparents who went through way more stuff than we've had to go through. Yeah. Our perspectives on things would be totally different if we were back in the day. We would not be sitting here saying, I said, wait, what's the problem with that? People would be like, oh, dude, you probably gonna go to jail. People, it's gonna be terrible for you.
Right.
First of all, their family is racist.
Yeah,
it's right because it is racism, and your family is probably racist. Different things. On the other side, they're black, bro. They probably criminals, bro. They probably terrible people. They're monsters, man. They're not evolved. Boom. Like, boom, I just watched a video the other day on Instagram with this guy come to a mixed couple, a white woman and a black man. He's trolling him. He's saying he's saying to the white man, you're gonna throw away 50,000 years of your evolution and all your genes that you've evolved by mixing with that. You think about that.
Crazy.
It's stupid.
And that's the mindset that people have. And that's
Aristotle. That's where this world gets its wisdom from.
So not saying that it's right. I mean, it's obviously not right in certain, but it's the difference between right and why people have the mindset they do.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say this. If you brought home a black woman and your mama didn't condone her.
Does not condone her?
No, or she doesn't favor her or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a woman you want to spend your life with. You feel like God has said you put this woman in your life and your mom don't treat her right. Would you cut your mom out your life?
Cut my mother out my life?
Mom.
Yeah.
No way.
Cut her out. I'm gonna, if this is the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with, I'm laying down and putting my foot down and say, well, you're gonna have to get used to this.
If she doesn't.
If she doesn't,
That's
then
on
we're
her.
just gonna have some problems. Me and my mother, this will be a conversation. We're gonna have problems. Whether that be a white woman, Latino, black, any woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with, and my parents just don't accept, then it'll probably be a problem between me and my parents. I'm not gonna let that affect me and my wife, because this is the woman I want to spend the rest
It
of my
would
life
naturally
with.
affect your
But it's
relationship.
It naturally would.
It naturally would.
It naturally would, but it wouldn't be necessarily on me though. It's not going to be because I'm not, trying to make things.
It is on you though, because
Why?
you can't control what your mom does. You can't control what your wife does, but you can control control what your mom does to affect the relationship with your wife. If you steady want to bring your wife around with your family, you want that. Everybody wants that.
Right.
You want to bring over your wife. But if you know when your wife comes over, your mom makes your wife uncomfortable, you have ownership. There's a lot of people that's in relationships. They know that their mom
No,
treats them
but
different.
I say this, but you said, should you cut your mama off?
Yeah.
Heck no.
That's my mama.
No, I'm not gonna cut my look. Let me finish. I'm not gonna cut my mom off because she don't like my wife. Right? That's it's terrible and it sucks.
Yeah.
But what's gonna happen is there's gonna be way more distance between my
Distance,
mother.
boom.
Yeah,
When
there's
I'm
be
gonna
distance.
come visit and see the fam.
Yep.
I'm gonna say, hey mama, but my wife, she's probably and anytime I have to visit, she might not come with me. But there's
'Cause she's
no
uncomfortable.
way. My wife probably can't even come with me. I'm gonna go see my parents. Hey, I'm gonna come to your family house later on in the day next week XYZ.
But
If
then
that's
that
the
goes-
case.
that
But
goes back
It's gonna
again.
bring problems.
That goes again back to what
there's
do
no way
you
I'm
want
cutting my mama off.
What do you want to deal with?
Yeah, let me say
What
this.
do you want? Because that's something that you're going to have to deal with. Knowing that my family, mother or father or whoever, has a problem with my wife. Like, I'm already knowing this. I'm explaining to like, mama, this is who I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life, and you're gonna have to have some respect or whatever. And she still don't want to have respect. Well, I mean, if I'm doing everything I can, how can I control exactly what my mama's doing? And I'm still telling like, hey, this ain't gonna be
You
able
can't.
to happen.
You can't.
I
But let
can't.
me say this: when you marry your wife, you vow to put her first. When you go through your vows and you
Yeah.
say this, so I'm not gonna fake the funk. I'm not gonna do my wife like that.
shouldn't.
I'm not gonna do my wife like that.
So you're cutting off your mother.
if it has to get to that point, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm not gonna leave my wife at home. Say you got to stay at home with the kids, and I'm just gonna visit my mom.
And you know what? He has a great point actually. I think because I even think that you can cut your mother off but still love her, and you can
Yeah.
also cut your mother off and then be like, we'll see how this affects your mom. How much does she love you? Is she willing to change
Put the
over the
mic closer.
distance? Over the distance.
Yeah, if I gotta if my mom is not treating my wife right, and I just tell my wife, just go somewhere so I can just go visit my mom or just stay at home. That's a disservice to my wife. I told my wife I would love you through every situation, anything like that. And as my mom, when you marry your wife becomes before your mother. Some people have a different perspective.
That's the truth.
That's my perspective. So I'm not gonna. Let's say if it was a homie, and your homie was disrespecting your wife, would you still be homies with him? Would you?
I'ma
and my
check
mama.
him.
My homie didn't birth me.
Yeah.
My homie didn't raise me.
So-
my
so-
homie didn't
I
carry
guess
me.
I
in the
wouldn't- I
womb.
wouldn't be
My
the
homie
only
didn't carry me in the womb for 9 months.
So your mom gets a pass because she's your
No,
mom.
I didn't say she got a pass. I didn't say this is my. Let me see what I gotta say. I didn't say I'm not gonna cut my mom off. I said I'll give my mom it's gonna be distance. What does that look like? It doesn't mean I'm not gonna text her, make sure she okay, checking into with my mama. She birthed me.
That's
gave
still
me,
my mama
raised
at
me.
the
That's
end of
my
the day.
mama,
That's
bro.
still my mama.
That's my mama. That's nobody else can hold me for 9 months,
Yeah.
raise me up, and provide a shelter for me when I had nothing. Nobody else gonna do that.
Not everybody
Now,
had your mama. Bro.
Exactly. Nobody. Now I understand that. Now I'm not gonna cut her
Wait,
off
what you
and
said?
stop talking to my mama. Right?
Not everybody had your mama.
Yeah.
What happened?
Not every. So you're looking at the perspective of what the relationship is with your mother.
Yeah.
There's not everybody has a relationship with your mom.
I get that, but that's exactly why I'm not gonna cut my mama off. But I'm going to put
Yeah.
distance. Now, what that looks like is I'm not trying to drive and see her every weekend. XYZ. It's gonna be distance between us, like I would do with anybody else. But specifically my mama, I would cut other people off when it comes to my mom or my father. And they still love me. They still XYZ, but they have a problem with my wife. Look, it's just gonna be extreme
gonna be different
distance.
relationship.
Different
It's gonna be
relationship.
different type of
Different
relationship.
relationship. It's not gonna be, hey, are we kicking it? I'm pulling up on you Thanksgiving next week. I might not even show up for Thanksgiving this year
Yeah.
because of that. I can't, bro. It's gonna be distance, but there's no way I'm gonna be like, hey, mama, I'm done talking to you. I'm done talking to you.
I got
all the
Mark.
stuff you
I got
done
a
for
question.
me.
Let me hear Mark.
Okay,
perspective.
okay, go ahead.
You raised me up. You taught me these values. I'm the man I am today.
Yeah.
It's because of you. Even if you didn't do me, even if you didn't even treat me right, I learned a lot of stuff from the way you taught me.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm gonna put distance between us, but there's no way I'm gonna cut off the person that carried me in her womb for 9 months, had pin me over her child. I was her child, and when I didn't even understand nothing else, you feel me? You don't know the sacrifices mamas put in for their children.
Absolutely.
bro. I understand sacrifices for your wife. I'm gonna put my wife first. That's because I'm gonna put distance between my mama. Me and my mama, we ain't gonna be talking all the time. No, I ain't calling my mama all the time. It's gonna be my mama if it's gonna.
Because your
care
wife
for them.
first. Because your wife first.
But I ain't gonna say, hey, I'm done talking to my mother.
Yeah, can't. Yeah,
No way.
can't do that.
So for your relationship, I guess that makes sense. But my relationship has not been the same with my mother. My mom, she carried 9 months, yada yada yada. But I never knew her as a kid. I only knew my father.
Right.
So it would be easier for me to cut her off, but I can still love her even though she's cut off. It's just saying that, I mean, the same way that she did me when I was a kid. I mean, it's not even like returning the favor. Like, you weren't there when I was growing up as a kid, and I cannot be here for you right now because you don't respect my wife. It's not even like returning the favor. Like, you weren't there when I was growing up as a kid, and I cannot be here for you right now because you don't respect my wife. It's not even like returning the favor. Like, you weren't there when I was growing up as a kid, and I cannot be here for you right now because you don't respect my wife.
No, that's we look at it from different perspectives.
Different
Let's say-
perspectives.
Different
Yeah.
perspective.
Let's
Because
say
my
this
mother was
perspective.
there for me. You feel
So
me?
was mine in my life.
So let's say this though. I don't give people a pass just because you birthed me. So let's say this. Did you ask to be born? When your mother and your father had you, I didn't ask to be here. No, that's not to say I don't give my parents a certain respect. They raised me. My mom was there for me. I had a perspective same as you. I have a relationship with my mom. I love my mom. I love my dad. But I don't give people certain excuses just because you did something for me that you are able to do something else. Just because you birthed me, you able to talk to my wife a certain way. Just because you birthed me out. Just because you birthed
So are
me.
you saying with your wife, any woman you bring home, you expect your parents to just like automatically, or just to 100%?
That's not what he's
No,
saying. That's
no,
not what he's saying.
no.
That's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is though, your parents are able to, like, even when you bring home, your mom might have a certain characteristic she say about your girl that she don't like.
Yeah.
That's your parents' job to always want the what's best for you.
Right.
But it gets to a point when I'm a man and I married this woman and I'm choosing to marry this woman, you got to respect my decision at the end of the day.
Well, absolutely.
And when I come home and I bring my wife around my kids and you treat my kids different because of my wife, or you treat my wife different, it's a certain, if you can't let that go for me, if you have that so much love for me and you can't let that go for me, I have a problem with that.
Absolutely, and that's when that's when the conversation is had. That's when you have a man.
Look,
a man to my mama, talking to my mama one-on-one, we gonna have a 100% conversation, and some things gonna have to. I'm gonna let my mama know. First of all, my wife is now my number one priority.
Yeah.
My wife is now my number one priority, and that's who I put first. So you're gonna have to respect, because this is how I'm with this woman for the rest of my life. So you're gonna have to respect not only her, respect my kids. You're not gonna have no dissonance towards them because of how you feeling a certain way about my wife. It's
But
gonna be
even if you had that conversation and there's no change, you can tell her. You can say, okay, if you don't do this. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have
I
that
feel like
conversation.
my mother personally, she's gonna respect she's gonna see me putting my wife first and making a decision, standing on that, like this is my wife, and she's gonna respect it. Now, to people's mothers who they still do that and their mama's not respecting it, then okay, it may be something different. I feel like my mom, that's what it would take for my mom to start at least respecting and having some respect for my wife and our kids, depending on how she may feel or whatever.
And he's but he's definitely just saying, like, for the people that the mothers that wouldn't respect it.
Yeah.
And that's
The hypothetical.
hypothetical.
I don't want it to look at your
Yeah.
get specific on your relationship with your mom.
Okay.
'Cause you might have a great relationship with your mom. He don't have the same with his
Exactly.
mom.
And-
But I wanted to say, like, in the general broad, if your mama was to, like, she don't respect your wife, when she come over, you're making your wife uncomfortable. If you married a white woman, you came home, your wife like, you brought this cracker over here. I'm not dealing with that, bro. I'm not.
You saying you never, when you say cut off, are you saying I'm
What
not
is cut
talking
off,
to my
man?
mother no more?
What's cut
Literally,
off? What's cut
no
off?
calls, no.
Nothing. Like, I don't talk to her again.
because that's what it's making it seem like.
That's cut off to me. 'Cause
Cut off is
distance
like-
I don't really talk to you that. Like, I don't even talk to you at all.
That's
but when
my
I do, we going. I'm gonna chop up with you here and there.
Like,
I might
old
shoot you a call, check in, and make sure you all right. Every here and there. But
old friends from high school, bro, who I don't talk to no more. They're like literally cut off. I don't have no relationship with them at all. And kind of like what you're saying, distance is just like, at the end of the day, it's still my mother. So it's like, check up, call. You getting the call. I still see you every once, but like the way you making it seem is just like cut off completely. Even when I get my wife and kids, it's like I'm not talking to my mother at all.
But it's also just like JT said and Mark. I think the only way that there be no one answer on this because of like how you were raised. So if you feel like your mama didn't raise you right, or your mom wasn't in your life, then yeah, how much easier to say
Yeah.
I would cut my mama off. She wasn't there for me.
Right.
But if my mama was there for me through thick and thin, was the best mama I could ever ask for, I really can never complain, XYZ.
Then it's a different answer.
My mama
Different.
built. I look at my mama right now. She built me up from the ground up. My mama did sacrifice so much for me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So much that was some stuff that she would never even speak on, that we can't even truly understand as men, even growing up. Like, man, until you see your wife sacrificing for your kids, you be like, I understand my mama sacrificed a lot. That's what a lot of people say is like, man, when you have your own kids, you be like, bro, my mama, what the heck, man? She did
Sacrifice,
a lot.
yeah.
But and that's the perspective, is like, man, Mark, your mama wasn't there for you. Easy to say cut off. Easy.
But to be fair, to clarify too, my mom wanted to be there for me. She was in court for me, but she stole me from the hospital
Oh wow.
Nevertheless, go ahead.
But exactly, like my mama, she was there. She uprooted me, gave me foundation. And if the one thing that comes into our conflict, into our relationship, is that you disrespect, you don't respect my wife. There will be a huge distance between us.
Yeah,
but there
huge.
would not be. I would not ever talk to you again.
Yeah, that's
because if you pass away tomorrow, I'm gonna look at like, damn, bro, I would have checked in with my mom, bro. If it come down to you passing away and I never talk to you again, I would
that's
be like,
gonna mess with me for the rest of my life.
I would be so hurt because I'm like, damn, bro. I never talked to you again because you didn't respect my wife.
Yeah.
But nah, bro. I'm looking at you like
Distance.
we not gonna talk. We barely gonna talk though. It's gonna be barely talk. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to call and check in here and there.
Distance,
if that's it's gonna be huge distance. And if she don't respect the distance after that, then now that's another question. What if even after distance she doesn't even try to reach out XYZ? Then that's not on me. I'm as a man of God, I have the responsibility of never having that pride to where I always humble myself and take the bigger role. I don't care what you did to me. I don't care if you spit in my face. I don't care if you wasn't in my life. XYZ. As a man of God, we're men of God supposed to be the ones that drop everything and always put yourself last. Because God says when you put yourself last, you put yourself first.
Yeah.
Literally, when you're the person that comes last is first. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? So like, but it's all perspective. There would be no one answer on that answer. You feel me? Like
it's definitely different perspectives. I see for you, it's easy. Like I'm cutting my mama off.
It's not easy. It just when I mean cut off, also is like that is a good question. What does cut off mean? But it's also like I don't want to fake the funk. Like if I really care about my wife and I love her that much, and I know that my wife and my mom's not treating her right, and that's something with me. I have to work with God. I would have a certain level of resentment. I would feel some type of way. I love this woman so much. Why can't you love her? Why can't you treat my kids the same? I would have a certain level of resentment for her.
That comes to respect too, though, from your mama. Like you feel like also you not respecting the woman who I've chosen to be with for the rest of my life, and you not respect. Yeah,
then it's coming. That's some of that's against me. You don't respect my decision. You don't respect if you don't respect the man you raised. You don't respect the man that you raised to make the decision best for him. Mm-hmm. And so that also doesn't even so much go with the wife. Also like that's some of that's against me. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the respect to feel like me and the man I raised.
That's real talk.
Or the son I raised. Like man, I don't respect the woman he bringing home. I don't respect the decisions he make. Like man, I'm doing what's best for me. And it gets to a point where I have to like, I understand what y'all saying. Everything your mom raised you. Your mom done so much. The sacrifices she's made. But I'm not a person. Even in relationships, I've done so much. I took you out to eat. I done this. I done that. Each the situation that goes away. I don't wait. Put a scale. My mom did all this my whole life. So now this one situation where that's not how it works with me. And y'all might have a different scale.
Well, but you have to look at it like your mama not still, like let's say your mama doesn't agree with your decision to marry.
Yeah.
It's not like your mother not going to stop loving you or stop trying to do stuff for you. And I know in my case, she not like with a girlfriend or somebody, okay, your girlfriend, they're literally out of your life. Like I'm not going to be with them no more. Your mama still, most times she's still gonna be in your life, but I was trying to, like you were talking about like with the girlfriend situation. We did all this stuff, and then now she's out of my life. So now I don't look back. Like your mom's still gonna be in your life, even going forward in the future. She's not just gonna like just stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I definitely understand your perspective 100%, bro. Like. But it's super disrespectful, bro. You know what I'm saying? Super, super disrespectful. But it also depends on like your relationship you have with your mama at the end of the day. Like, cause you know, you say like I'm not gonna fake the funk. Well, me not faking the funk is
having a conversation.
Me not faking the funk is like I'm not. We can't be kicking it. I'm gonna let you know straight up that I don't like that you. I can't be. We can't be buddy. Like you can't be my right hand like how you was when we were growing up no more. But I'm not gonna complete never talk to you again because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's to me, it's like it all depends on your relationship you have with your mom. If you never had a close relationship with your mom, she could have raised you, just like you said, she could have raised you and didn't ever see you. But for me, it's like, bro, my mama did more than raise me, bro. My mama was in my life. She knew everything that happened to me. I was able to open up to her and talk to her as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
like, and just like you said, everybody has perspective. Like you gotta remember, parents love hard, and parents some stuff we don't even get. She be like, man, I hate that she don't like my wife, but at the end of the day, it's because she loves me so much that she thinks that that's not the right decision. But if you disrespect, it's a difference between like not agreeing, but then you
disrespecting my wife. Yeah,
now then it's like, all right, now you have to be removed, bro.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be like, hey, from a distance, you good?
So that's gonna affect.
Cool.
Obviously, that's gonna affect me and the wife's marriage because when we
Yeah.
come around,
Come home.
you know what I'm
Your wife
saying.
feel
She don't even
uncomfortable.
feel safe. She don't even
Yeah.
feel in a safe space. I mean, for sure, yeah,
that could mess your marriage up too.
yeah.
So it's like that's why I
100%.
feel like
But if I cutting off, like I feel like even from the wife's perspective, let's say my wife had to cut off her mama for me, I would feel terrible.
Yeah.
I would, even if you cut off, I'd be like, bro, you cutting your mama off for me,
me,
bro.
yeah.
I'd be like, I don't even feel right marrying you, bro, because like you literally they're saying no to you cutting your mama off or whoever raised you. Forget mama and pop situation. The person that raised you, you know what I'm saying, like XYZ, like I'd be like, you cutting them off, man.
It comes to it.
You cutting them off.
That's why it goes again to the
cutting
what
off.
do you want to deal with? Because all of this entail, like, let's say you had 3 girlfriends and you notice like every single girlfriend. It could be another thing. Your mama just don't want to let you go. Your mama just don't want to
that's
see
true.
the
That's
fact
true.
that she like another woman's finna be before the mother. Yeah. So it could be that. But what was I finna say? I was finna say something. Go. I lost my
yeah,
thought.
you good, but yeah, I think it's hard because I think about this and it's just like I want to be that husband. I'm so passionate about my wife. Like I'm putting my family first. Because once you take that step, you got a kid or you got that marriage, your family it comes first.
100%.
It's no longer your family with your mom and dad. It's your kids and your wife.
100%.
And if I got to take that sacrifice to make sure that foundation or what that is good, that's what it's got to be.
But also, just like I said earlier, you got think about from the perspective of the wife.
I'm gonna just slide
Oh.
out here in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, you good, bro.
We can finish
We
up
can
soon.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
I was thinking like think about the perspective of if your wife had to cut off her pops or cut off her mama for you. Now, for me, I'm not gonna lie, that would make me the fact that you have to cut them off. I would like, man, I appreciate the extent you would go for me, but I don't. To me, this is like it wouldn't even sit right with it wouldn't even sit right that you have to do that you would cut them off.
Why do
so
you
I
have
would,
to do that?
So for me, it'd be like I don't even think we should be together because of this. Now, I'll feel it for me personally. If a person put the distance between, I'll be like, okay, well, they're still putting me first by not choosing my mother over me, XYZ. They're choosing the family first. They're putting distance. But I would feel more comfortable to stay in a relationship because like, okay, well, at least they still converse. At least they still talk. You know what I'm saying? But if you cut your mom off from me, I wouldn't even feel comfortable us marrying at this point. Like you like, man, you cutting off your own mama for me. I don't know, man.
Imagine
that would be such a riff in me that I'd be like, I don't even know if we can stay together, bro.
Because
Like,
imagine the problems that's gonna arise in the
Arise.
future just
couldn't do
because of that. It's gonna be so much, and that's why it goes
and you
again.
like, this is all my fault, bro. Like, I don't think it's all my fault, blah, blah, blah.
And you're gonna
Especially
internalize
from
that
a
for the
woman's
whole
perspective.
Yeah, for the whole marriage. You're gonna internalize that every time you get around this family. Man, like
Or you can't go visit your family during Christmas because it's like
You're like, I know you want to see your family. You ain't seen your family in years. You be like, go ahead. You be like, I can't come. Like, that stuff is like, damn, bro.
that's
Like,
I
just
think you
what do
asked
you
a-
want to deal with? Like, do you
You asked
want
a
to
good question too, like whether or not like the person who raised you. Now, my auntie raised me. I couldn't cut her off for no.
It's
for
the
no
person
reason.
that- nothing,
I
yeah.
couldn't cut her
now,
off.
see,
Yeah.
I had to say the person that raised you because
different,
it's not just mama and
Yeah,
dad.
not just
different
mama.
for everybody?
Yeah.
100%, Mark.
woo.
That's definitely yeah.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
Man, this was a good compliment.
No facts, bro.
Where you get this from? Podcast questions that over?
Oh man, I just be thinking.
Definitely had me thinking.
I
Yeah.
think that's a blessing God gave me. It just a lot of people been telling me I'm just a natural with the questions. I can just flow. You know, it just comes to my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not me. I give it up to God. Like a lot of times, it's like man, I may think like man, what should I ask? And God be like, oh, I got you.
There it is.
Just be patient. 2 more minutes in the convo. You know, I got something coming for you. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
cool.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so I just thank God for it, and it comes natural, and just be able to shine light because there's a lot of people that go through this right now, and I just want to highlight different topics, and each episode just different things. We talk about 3-4 different topics, and like there's some people right now thinking like, man, should I cut my mama off for my wife? Or some people right now is like, man,
Wow.
And that's a real thing. And that,
Wow.
even after this, I'm gonna be going home and when I go back having a conversation with my mama, just like, hey, mama, one day it's gonna come a point where my wife is gonna be above you. I'm like, my wife is gonna be the number one. Are you okay with that? Like, is that gonna be a problem?
yeah,
Like,
so,
you know what I'm saying?
And another thing is, a son is a wife's last love, because when your wife, or let's say if your mom, she was your dad, if she married your dad and she loved your dad before she loved you, before she even had to plan kids, she loved you. But when you were born, us for a son, our first love is our mom. You love your mom. Your mom has raised you. You came from womb. Like when it comes to women are your dad. Their dad is their first love most of the time. And for sons, your mom is your first love. But when you got your wife's your last love before your kids. You know what I'm saying? You go to your wife. And even say this question: who comes first, your wife or your kids?
My wife.
My wife.
Your wife.
Look, I'm here. Look,
Golly.
God bless me to raise you, and that's about it, boy. Listen,
Because your kids gonna branch off.
They gonna branch.
Yeah, your
off
kids
into
gonna
what they
branch off and get their own family.
Golly,
So
boy.
Be together forever.
yeah, so like my wife, if it was a situation where if I was having a kid and my wife was gonna die and my kid was gonna die,
Ooh.
I need my wife. Y'all might not feel the same. What's y'all perspective?
I agree.
I need my wife.
I need my wife, bro. I'm sorry, like, because at the end of the day, it's a choice between choosing two lives that will be gone.
If I got one kid,
I would let my kid go.
My
I would
one-
let him survive.
my one kid.
Keeping
Let's
the
say
kid?
let's say I got one kid. That's my seed. Like that's
You can get another kid though.
I don't,
that makes my kid just so disposable.
It's
though.
not
Yeah.
disposable.
But then now my
It's-
wife,
it's very
but then your wife
disposable.
is disposable.
Your wife's disposable.
but look,
I'll get another
your wife.
partner.
But look.
I'll get another partner.
but look, the way I see it,
That's yeah.
I would let my wife go. I would let my wife go, and I would allow my, because especially, I mean, it's your son. I think it's a legacy thing. God is all about legacy. And
But
my son,
you can have
You can
another-
have another
another
son.
kid.
The wife that's really hard. I might have to go with the wife too,
but
though.
I don't
Yeah.
think you really valuing your kid, and I don't think you valuing the life that he gave you.
So
and the
you're not
kid.
valuing your
No,
wife?
I do.
I mean,
do.
it never. I think
do.
about biblically, it never says love your child like you love
More.
the church. So like at the end of the
Wife.
day, Jesus ain't gonna put nothing else above the church.
Yeah.
It don't
And
care.
that's
I
your
don't
wife.
care who it is.
Oh, that's the wife. That's the wife.
The
That's the
kid,
wife.
your kid,
Yeah, I
your
didn't think
kid,
about
bro.
that.
Especially just a freshly born kid who never.
You have no relationship.
Well, I was
You have no
thinking like- I was
relationship.
thinking
You gotta
like
get to know that
20-year-old.
dude.
You
I
have
was
no
thinking like-
relationship.
Oh, we thinking
what's your
old.
name,
We thinking
folks?
older kids.
older.
What's your name?
I don't think it matter what age.
Yeah, you're right though.
I don't care
agree.
what age.
I agree.
45, 47. And I'm trying to think what my dad do. My dad
I had a
taking
dream
my
about
mama.
this.
Yeah.
My dad taking my mama.
But let's say this: whatever happened, complications, and we have to get rid of the baby, whatever it is, we might have to get another kid. And if we can't have kids after that, we gotta adopt, or there's other options. But I just what's the where you can like put the seed in another woman and have a kid that way. If that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do. But my wife,
Yeah, I'm taking my wife.
I gotta go my
I'm
wife.
taking my wife.
Yeah, y'all changing my perspective. I agree with you.
I gotta
I'm taking my wife.
I gotta go my wife.
God, that's hurt. That's crazy. But I'm just thinking about my father. If it was between me and my I would almost want my dad to pick my
Yeah, you
mother.
want bro.
I got a question.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean just because that baby died doesn't mean that's not still gonna be you. God be like, okay, he put you through this. It's still gonna be Amari. This baby might have died, but the next baby would have been Amari. You get what I'm trying to say?
Like that sounds like some reincarnation
Yo,
stuff.
I don't know about that.
That sounds like some reincarnation
I'm
stuff.
confused.
Let me say this. Let's say this. The baby you was had, the baby finna come
2.0.
out. You don't know this baby. Only person that knows this baby is God.
Right.
The woman doesn't know the baby. The baby's inside. You can't really see this person. When the baby comes out, it's a stillbirth. You don't know this person's personality. You don't know what they're gonna like. You don't know nothing. That next baby could still be the same person.
But see that goes into
No.
that goes
Look,
into the mindset.
that's what I think. That's what I think.
But that
That's two different
goes into the
lives.
mindset of like reincarnation of people like going into like a cat or another, like my grandpa.
See, No,
I think that's different. That's different.
He
That's
gets
the same
just
thing.
that's literally the same thing. Like
It's the same
this-
person
they
in a
spirit
different body.
they spirit goes into another, like, you know what I'm saying, the
Yeah,
same.
that's not how it works.
I don't believe that.
Different perspective. Different perspective.
Yeah,
Okay,
I-
That is
I
not
had
how
this
it works.
question. I just want to pick y'all brains real quick. When he asked that question, what kind of death were y'all thinking about? Because I'm thinking like if my wife and my son are hanging on the cliff and about to fall in lava.
I just thought of some situation where
No,
I
I'm talking
couldn't.
about birth.
Wait, what do you
He said like if they're both gonna fall in a volcano.
Oh wow, that changes it completely.
say?
for
Wait,
me.
say it one more time.
I'm thinking about like if my wife was having a baby, or even like say
Oh,
if my wife was having a baby and I've had to save my wife for the kid. I'm saving my wife.
I'm taking my wife.
I would too. Yeah,
I'm taking my wife.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but what about Mark's
but
perspective?
even if it
Lava?
was a cliff,
What if it was older? Older.
No,
I'm
that's
taking my
different.
like a 20-year-old kid or something.
Wife.
Dang.
That sounds grime though. That sounds
I don't
grime.
know. I feel like-
I'm gonna let my son.
I just really thought about like when they're older though. You like, man, bro.
Your
my
kids
kid has
don't love
so
you
much
as saying.
life. My kid has so much life to experience.
I'm gonna die.
Me and my wife have
We've
experienced
seen
so
it.
much more. We've seen it, all this stuff. Like, if your kid 20, you at least you hopefully should at least be in your 40s. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've experienced like double triple what they experienced. So you like, I would think like, man, we've experienced more life. I think that your wife would want you to pick your kid too. Like,
I can't think that though.
I can't think that
because my wife could live another 30. My kid could die tomorrow.
I'm gonna dang near try to say I'm gonna die trying to save both of them.
Do you know how many?
I'm-
you know how many kids we go to high school with, bro, and they dying from sicknesses, COVID. Like your kid,
But it's more
tomorrow's
likely
not
for your-
guaranteed.
It's
Tomorrow's
not.
not.
That's very true.
Tomorrow's not
It ain't.
guaranteed.
Very
so
true.
If
But it's
I,
more
my kid lived 20 years, bro. I need my kid to keep going. I ain't gonna
exactly.
lie.
but that'll
He's only seen 20
That'll be
years
your
old.
wife. That's your firstborn.
JT, you done right now.
I'm done.
You done. You're
Okay.
dead. Look. But your mama, I don't know if she's 50 or
My
not.
mom 50. Well, she about to turn 50
She
next
been on
month.
this years for 5 decades. You only got two.
She can live to
Every,
90.
I need her to-
every
I need her
parent
to
wants their
see-
kid. Every parent wants their kid to live longer than them.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
I
want
don't
their kids to
I
laugh.
would feel terrible. Like I wouldn't even look at my wife the same, knowing like, damn, my kid can't.
Oh, and that's
even
gonna mess up the
experience-
marriage. That's gonna mess up the marriage.
You rather live 40 more years versus your kid living about 60.
Your wife dang near
if
going.
my kid was gonna live longer, I'm gonna give him my kid.
But you don't know
you
that.
don't know
You
that.
don't know
Your
that.
wife dang near gonna hold that over you forever. That's gonna mess.
Why
that's
did you
gonna,
choose me?
That's gonna mess that up.
done.
Y'all just at the kitchen table. Kid dead. Just
Oh my gosh.
Just
Yeah,
like
look at each other.
kid
a
dead.
horrible thought.
I mean, but it's some people really go
Silent
through it though.
dinners,
Yeah.
Some
silent
people didn't
dinners.
really go through it. Or
That's terrible.
let's say letting the kid. I guess between choosing the kid or the wife, they kill the kid, and it's just like after that, it's just like, dang, our kid.
What do we just do?
Our kid is dead.
What is our purpose at that point? You have to find a new purpose, guy.
You do.
Yeah. And
You
so
do.
a lot of people are going through that. But when I thought about the question, I was thinking about more of a birth thing.
Yeah, 100% birth thing. Wife.
Yeah.
Birth, I'm taking
Birth
wife.
thing, wife.
But
Older kid, it's like, well, everything I'm doing is for the benefit of my kid. At this point.
But does it change? What did you say
still going
about the
wife.
church? About what's
No,
it called?
but we're pinning I'm pinning the wife first. But at the end of the day, I'm pinning the wife first. As we work together, you should be. Why you think we start saving for when your kid? You know, you can have a kid. You start saving for their future college. Everything I'm doing is to help establish my kid to continue.
So my kid can be better
but
than me.
It's we doing it together. But if he gets to the point where now he's 20 years old and I know he can continue our legacy, and he's lived only see 20 years on this earth. Or she, who knows? Let's say 10, hasn't even 15, hasn't even lost her virginity yet, never experienced no life, bro. I'm like, yo, bro, he's even got a chance to experience life yet. I've seen enough.
And you
Go
want
ahead.
her. You want her to kill. You want her to be dead.
let me say this. This might be
we don't want either of them.
This might be a selfish perspective, but I feel like I'm still gonna take the wife because listen, let me finish.
What if y'all end up divorced after that because she was like, you chose the kid.
Dang.
Then that's what happens.
You stand on your decision.
That's a what if.
Now you lost the kid and the wife. Hey, look, now he lost the kid and the wife.
That's a what if. But
What if he take the son and let the wife die, and then the son try to kill him because he let the mama die? It's, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
either one.
Thank
It's
you.
really either one. There's
But
no
then
right
I'm
or
not, you know what? You keep going, kid. You keep going, son. Or you keep going, daughter.
Dad. You should have let my mama live.
Go ahead. Look. You can
the
cut
kid
me
gonna
off, cut
resent
me
you
off,
too. The
cut
kid
me
gonna
off,
resent you too.
me.
It's either
Resent
there's
me.
no
Resent me. You still a Bramlet though.
It's not a good
Hey, look,
situation.
Continue on my name.
He
If you
changes
don't-
his last name.
He changed. I don't want to.
That don't matter, bro.
It do.
You still not. You still my blood. You still my blood.
It do. But
Continue it on.
if he don't
My
even want to
genes.
recognize you as a father or
Yes.
something, if he
Yes.
don't even want to, I don't even respect you no more. You just let my mama die.
That's
there's
hard.
no like right
But-
because both situations is bad.
But let's say if we look at statistics, your kids live longer than you. So
Statistically.
I want my kid to experience more life, and and God given that he or she can experience more life.
Yeah.
Because my parents, if we have kids and we're saying at the age of 20, we should let's say we 50 years old, bro. We like, damn, bro. Well, we built this up so our kids can have a good life, bro. We grind so hard every day to come back for our kids, XYZ. Like we putting all this money into their school, doing all this stuff, like our discretionary. And they say you don't got no money, you got a kid, bro. All your money going to your kid. If you ain't making bank, you feel me? Like for a reason, you feel me? So I'm like, but if you just born, bro.
Either way, bro, because you can't use the script. You use that scripture about how Christ
Yeah,
loves
you
the
use
church.
the scripture.
You use the scripture, and the
You can't-
scripture
you
don't
can't go
change.
back.
In,
You can't
the
go
scripture
back.
doesn't change in different
scenarios.
contexts. It's
Yeah,
the
you
exact
can't-
same.
You use the scripture, bro.
It's the exact same. So that's
Okay, what if you right? You got me there.
Yeah.
You got me there.
So
You got me there.
yeah, let's wrap it up.
It's hard though. It's tough. It's really tough.
At this point, I'm gonna just say I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have
Hopefully,
to be
hopefully, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully, I don't ever get put in that situation.
You know what? I love my wife, but I know that she would have wanted me to choose my son. That's the love right there.
How was maybe she wanted to live? Maybe she wasn't right with God.
No, she right with God. Because I ain't with her if she not.
Maybe it's that can change. Life has people ups and
I
downs.
can't assume
Ups and
that.
downs.
Wait,
I can't assume that.
last question.
I would have divorced her by now.
Do you divorce your wife?
What?
Ooh.
Whoa!
If you're not following God, we done.
I'm not saying follow God. In following God, the relationship is not always the best.
My heart. I won't know her.
It's not.
I won't know her
about
heart
that,
posture.
Amari.
Wait, hold on. One person at a time. One person at a time. One person at a time.
I would never. You
I
can
married this woman. I dedicate. I'm not divorcing. Once I marry you, there is no divorce.
There is divorce.
There is
if
no
you're
divorce.
Not following God, we done.
No, wait.
There is no divorce. I dedicated my life.
Whoa.
me say this.
I'm turning everybody mic off. One person at a time. Let's keep it good.
Let me say this. Life happens, okay? And people fall in and out of relationships with God, but just because they left them doesn't mean they can't come back to him.
God absolutely.
God still says come back.
I'm gonna say this.
You might lose your relationship. God still says come back.
Is it impacting my relationship with God?
Hold on, there's scripture.
I'm supposed to give
in
up on her.
If
I'm supposed to give up.
if it's impacting my relationship with God, I'm
You're not a
picking.
disciple of them.
No,
Boom,
I
you
am.
can't be.
I am because
Hold on.
what does God say? I choose. There's no way I can love my wife if I ain't loving God first. The reason why my wife follows me is because I'm connected to God first. It's the center of my life is God. It's not my wife. And once you tell your wife, like when I marry my wife, I'm gonna tell her this. Look, me and you, we are not the center of our lives. It's God first. Whatever God says is right. I'm following Him first. I'm following God first. And if you can't do that, we can't be together because you're gonna jeopardize both of our eternities, bro. It's impossible for me to say I'm gonna let that slide.
Okay. Let Mark go. And then
Definitely see the perspective.
I'm gonna go next.
Open your heart to this. Just because somebody falls out of love with God doesn't mean that should affect. It's going to affect your relationship between them, but it shouldn't affect your
relationship
love for
with God.
And then also this. Hold on. Also this. There's scripture in John that says, if you're His, you're His. It doesn't matter.
I got a question for you, Mark. Then
Let me finish. I'm finished.
I got a question.
Go ahead. Answer your question. I'm gonna go.
All right, look, let's think about lifting weights. So I talked about this before. If my bench with God is 200 pounds, right, and my wife's bench drops to 50 pounds, and we're doing life together, so we have to do the same workout. I'm going to have to drop to 50 pounds because
No, you're not.
Yes,
you just gonna have two different benches. You're gonna have one bench in it. Y'all not gonna be on the same bench. Y'all doing the same workout.
What do you think about marriage? What do you think about? I don't. In marriage, I don't leave.
Marriage is united.
In marriage, I don't leave and go home for the day. I come home to this woman every single day. If she can't understand why I'm like, look, we can't spend time. I got to get in the word. She like, why are you doing that?
So you benching 250 with God every single day. You don't ever accidentally drop.
What you mean 250? What you mean? Whatever she follow me, she should be doing.
No,
I'm saying you.
You don't ever.
You may not. Some days you may not be able to bench 250.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying
that's true. That's true.
Then wherever I drop to, she will drop to as well because she following me.
No, but y'all not always on the same exact.
I'm not saying that, but if my wife bluntly tells me like I'm done following Christ, I denounce His name. I'm done following God. I can't do this Christ stuff. And I'm like, I try to help her over time. I go to the church, try to help her go to the church.
Okay,
I go to my friends and tell her go to my friends like, hey, what should I do, bro? Look, she's impacting my relationship with God. I feel like I can't even follow Him because she hates this man at this point. Now at this point, I'm like, hey, look, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to figure this out with God because I'm not gonna jeopardize my relationship with Him. God. Because without Him, we can't have us. What's the point of marriage? The point of marriage is a symbolism of your relationship with Christ. That's what the point of marriage is. The point of marriage is the unity of man and woman. Is a unity of man and God. That's the whole symbolism.
What you think, Mark? I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of with that.
Okay, at that extreme.
And when you get at that extreme, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't say like she just like, oh, I don't know if I should follow God. Like,
well, that's kind of what we were talking. Yeah, that's what it sounded like at first. It was like she kind of she started slipping.
If you're saying you stop following God, it's the idea of you stop following God, and that should be an overtime thing. Then
okay,
it's like it's not like I just wake up. She wake up one day like I don't know if I should follow God. Like, yeah, we have ups
somebody
and
downs. Somebody in the family died. God, I don't know. I don't know about you.
Now, that takes time.
Question.
You have to work to try to help her back, but she never come back. It's like, bro, I can't stay with you.
Question. We got two more questions. We're gonna wrap it up. Sterling got to go. How long do you give your wife?
Yeah,
That's
you gonna give her
situational.
time?
That's situational. It has to be time. I'm not gonna the next day can be like, you think the next
You
day?
got a year. You got a year to get this right, and if you don't, we're done.
You think no? It's not. There's no way I'm putting a time limit on it.
Gotta tell me.
Exactly. I'm gonna be in prayer, and God's gonna be like, it's gonna go to the point where God's like, give me the decision, like, hey,
Prayer is
this
nice.
is time. This is time.
Timing.
It's time for you to break this off, bro. Because
I agree with timing. I agree with time. I agree with prayer.
There's no
Because
way
I
I'm
was gonna
putting
say
a
time.
time.
I'm like 3 months. You got 6 months.
No
So,
way.
yeah, get it
No
right.
way. No way.
But yeah, okay. Last thing, we have marriage, right? But I think marriage through the Bible is different than marriage that we have in society.
Yes. I'm talking biblically. Anything I'm talking right now is biblically.
Yes. So let's say we have marriage now. Marriage now in America, they make it a contract. It's not really a marriage. Are you guys okay with marrying your woman, but not through what society?
What do you mean by that?
So not
That is a good question.
What do you mean by that?
not,
a good question.
not going through the courthouse.
Oh,
Does it matter to you of signing something through the court if you married through God? You give your woman a ring, y'all married through Christ. But does it matter to you if it has to go through society? Like you have to go to the courthouse and all this because
yes.
The courthouse represents
Yes,
a financial aspect.
It represents us.
It's the finance
but you
part.
don't have to.
Yeah.
But you can do finances through God. If y'all really honoring, you don't need somebody else to hold you
God
accountable.
is a God is a
gonna hold you
God of
accountable.
laws and orders.
Wow, dude, that just blew my mind. That's a good
God is
question.
gonna hold you accountable. You don't need Uncle Sam to hold you accountable through your marriage. God is gonna hold you financially responsible. If you're really devoting your life to God and you're doing your finances right and you're tithing together and you're paying the bills together and you're feeding your kids together, what do you need Uncle Sam for?
You don't.
So what is the point of going to the courthouse?
It's secular mindset, bro. It's secular perspective.
What do you need?
That
You don't.
What do you
JT,
need?
I'm on your. I 100% agree.
I
You
agree
don't
too.
need it.
What do you need it for?
You don't need it. But
I agree too.
So why? So then, why go through it then?
Exactly.
What if your wife wants to go through it, but you trying to convince her from the godly perspective? Like, we don't need to go to the courthouse to do that.
If my wife wants to, that's my whole thing, bro. People's feelings change when things happen. When you go through marriage, you go through something, and let's say we do want to get divorced. A woman will go through half. They want half the money or whatever the court awards them. Why should I have Uncle Sam tell me what should be taken? Because God is going to hold me responsible. If God wants her to have half the money, he's going to get her half that money. I'm going to lose something in my company. I'm going to lose my house. I'm already losing my wife. God's going to put me through the trials and tribulations where he's going to hold me accountable. What do I need Uncle Sam for?
Well, I also think because Uncle Sam would then recognize you as a united entity.
Yes.
So that's the whole thing. Like, even when it comes to
Why do I need that though? God's doing that.
well, no, I'm saying when it comes to
God-
when it comes to financial ventures together, you can
tax.
their taxes and everything. When it comes to financial ventures together, you are one entity.
And you may not
it
want to
will-
give
it
that up
does-
to her.
There's benefits.
It's a law.
There are
It-
benefits.
It's a law because see with
There
you
are financial benefits to,
with you
to having
with
a
you
marriage.
with
Some
you
people
it's an
marry just for
emotion.
that.
Hold on,
With
one
you
person.
with you it's emotion. So like let's say it's just all you and y'all have a divorce. Well, now there's nothing that says okay, I have to give you 50% or whatever. Now it's really on you. You may not want to do that. You may not want to be right
You
because
trust yourself?
I feel like if God wants it to happen, he's gonna take it regardless. If I don't want to give her half or not,
True, but
it's gonna
it
happen.
ain't coming from you though.
there
It's
are
not-
financial benefits.
Yeah,
to
it's
marrying
not. It's not
equals.
coming-
Even still, when you get divorced through the court, it's not coming from you. You know how many people don't want to give up half? You're not doing that. Uncle Sam's taking it regardless. So it's not from you anyway. Even if it was God or not, it's not from you. If your wife got divorced from your wife, would you just hand over 50? No. To be honest, no.
I mean, but
It
that's
all
the
depends.
law though.
That's exactly why do you need that? If I'm
Because some people can't hold themselves accountable to their own word.
Some people.
And some people cannot hold themselves accountable
true.
to their own word.
God will hold you accountable. That's my word.
Truth, but the idea of marrying there's financial
but
no, the but part of like the beginning part saying like what's the point? The
That's
point is
why-
the financial benefits. There are financial benefits to becoming one unit, one entity. You know what I'm saying? There are financial benefits to that. That's
Financial
the-
benefits
I'm
and
only thinking-
financial
The only reason I'm going to the
losses.
courthouse is to get financial benefits. Now,
What's the financial benefits?
of
Venture capitals on your tax income. I mean, he know better than I do.
yeah,
Much better.
there's definitely 100%.
Yeah, I get it. Like, you pay less taxes if you're in a marriage.
Yeah.
They tax single people the most.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it just for taxes, I think my head in
I
the
mean,
wrong space.
taxes. I mean, taking out loans together. It makes it.
Why?
I mean, it's the
If we-
perspective of why I'm doing
if I
it.
take out a loan just by myself and I'm taking out with my wife, if we really are a unit, If I take it out myself and she's still gonna pay half, why? What is the difference?
Wow, that's
Well,
interesting.
Because the name's on it?
I know 100%
the
know
name's
there's
on it?
100%. I don't know. I haven't done enough research to say what are all the benefits, but you look up what are the financial benefits of marrying. There's probably a huge list of the financial benefits of becoming one unity.
but what?
It recognized under
So
that.
I get what you're saying.
And you
versus
have a
the
full-
legal side, but then he's
'Cause if we're
saying-
not-
And
we're
you have a full
divorcing,
piece of paper to let
contribute.
everybody else know I'm married. Like
But
let every
I don't care about everybody else. God knows. If I'm saying this is my wife,
I'm only thinking about. I only care
no.
about the financial benefits. I'm not thinking about the financial loss because if we're getting married, I shouldn't even. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
so if I'm getting married,
There's-
and we
but
know
there's-
we're
why
we
would
know
I
you're
not go
unity.
through the? Why would I not go through get financial benefits?
Let me
though?
say this:
The financial benefits.
if we're
is
married
key.
and we really are a unit, and if I get a loan in my personal, my wife already knows it's
She
half.
gonna get the
She
half.
getting half.
but there are. After the
legally
pod, let's
it's
look
not
up.
the same, though.
After the
that's
pod, let's
you.
look up.
Not everybody's like that though. Sincerely, that's why they have to. That's why we have to have contracts. That's why we have to have all this stuff in writing to say this is what's going to happen.
I don't need a contract.
I don't need a contract either.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't need the government to hold me accountable for my wife.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying, and that's good for maybe people like us, but not everybody's like that,
You're right.
and that's
So
why they
they
need
have
it.
options.
That's why we need contracts in general for anything. All this copyright stuff.
Yeah,
and-
but is it okay to say you're married and just not go through the court system?
Yes. I'm gonna say yes.
I don't have an answer for that. Right
I'ma
now.
say yes.
In truth,
Is it marriage to the government?
Or is it marriage to God?
But it's marriage to God. If it's blessed by God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because the world can't tell me
There's-
whether something
It
is
looks
not
like
blessed by
there's
God.
there's heckers. Not
Heckers,
gonna lie. They look like there's a lot of financial benefits here.
such as
But I'm not doing marriage for financial benefits.
No, but I'm not doing it. But why not get the benefit of it? Why not? I'm not thinking about the loss.
because marriage is going to be hard
If I'm
regardless.
a person that if I think about finance stuff all the time because I'm a person that's financial savvy. So I'm thinking, why not benefit our let's create if we're thinking about creating a generation of wealth. Thank you. Then one thing we're gonna have to do.
No, you don't need to be married to do that because I can put you in the will if we're not married. We can have a will together. We can have a trust together. We can buy a house together. We don't have to be married. We can get an apartment together. We don't have to be married. Only thing it is taxes.
no, but there's some specific
What
things
else?
out there. Like if you,
I don't have them at the I don't have them at the top
What
of my
else?
head,
Like
but I'm
joint-
sure
joint
there's
tenancy-
because I've had
joint
people in my
tenancy
family
in a
do
house,
this.
Joint tenancy in a house is different. It says that it's basically like if you get a house with your wife, then everything trickles down the way it's supposed to. Versus it, I mean, I guess could you put that in your will to say I want
Yes.
everything? Wow. Well, I don't know then.
Even
Why
if you
would
have a death beneficiary, you don't have to be married.
I've
Even
had
my
peop-
girlfriend. You can pass down the wealth.
I've had people in my family do this who get married. I didn't even know that they were married.
Yeah.
They've gotten married or the little whatever you call it, home marriage or what
Yeah,
just not.
or like just go and run off and get married. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's like, and my thought is, why wouldn't you? My wife is my prize.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to let everybody know, like 100% through the system or whatever? Why wouldn't I want to show up? I'm married to this woman and let it know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like hiding. Like what my family do. In a
I
sense,
don't
yes.
agree. I don't agree.
No, because just because it's through the world or through tax or through government does not make it. It doesn't make it any less official.
Yeah, or just doesn't mean you still not telling everybody your wife. You got your wife on your Facebook, every social media. Only person that doesn't know is Uncle Sam. But you really married. You have a covenant. You signed everything together. You give her a ring. If the ring doesn't even mean anything to me, what's the ring mean? You can take the ring off and still do whatever dirt you're gonna do.
Yeah, it's really
It's the covenant.
it's the
through
covenant.
God.
It is.
I don't need Uncle Sam for that.
The only reason I'm going to I really take all benefits Uncle Sam. gonna
Okay.
give me. If we talk about manipulating, look, I'm looking at it right here. Look, income tax breaks. We get social
Taxes,
security.
that's the only thing. Benefits,
Social security benefits of when you're married, buying, selling home, capital gains taxes. That's a huge one. Gift estate tax provisions on
So from
gender.
his perspective, God
Insurance
is giving him more
plannings.
access to money.
All right, a spouse may qualify for more benefits because
Anything I get anyway is 10% is God's anyway.
And so now you get to give 10% more through these different
through these
beneficiaries.
different beneficiaries.
This
right.
just made me sprout up a whole nother question really quickly.
I know
Real
you got to
quickly.
go. Go ahead.
What's it called? When it comes to like all holidays throughout the year, we got Christmas, we got birthdays, we got Valentine's Day. I was talking to somebody, he was trying to be cheap, and he was talking about, dude, why do we celebrate Valentine's Day? Why do we on this day? Why do we show more love to our wife than we would, or to our girlfriend or whatever, than all the other days? Like, what's the difference? Shouldn't I be showing her this affection and stuff every single day?
True.
Why do we do it? Well, you can say that for any holiday. You can say that for birthdays.
It's monetization.
You can say that for birthdays. You can say that for Christmas. You can, but it's almost like why it's tradition though. Like it's tradition.
No, they did it for maybe financial
Money.
Have you noticed every quarter? Listen, every quarter there's almost a holiday set up to where there's a big financial advancement. You have Christmas. Valentine's Day is almost a quarter three, depending on what fiscal year you're at. You have Valentine's Day marking up flowers. Why are flowers the same price every other year, but it's Valentine's Day, it's double, triple the price?
Because a lot of people want them.
It's monetization.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Prices go up.
Prices go up.
Demand's higher.
Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They could show Black Friday any other year. Why they do it right after Thanksgiving?
They want people to go spend money.
What's the reasoning?
Money.
Exactly. But
If I'm a business, I'm going to take advantage of that too. I
yeah,
ain't
but
gonna lie.
yes,
Like,
that's true. But why? Why? If I'm really gonna do something for my wife, I'm only gonna do it for Valentine's Day. Some people only do
True.
stuff for their wife one day a year,
That's
Valentine's Day
that's
or
true.
Christmas. But if you really care about your wife, you don't need Valentine's Day.
You can do any day.
So if you don't need Valentine's Day, what if it's like Valentine's Day come and be like, oh, I've been doing stuff. I don't
I'm
need
still
to do
gonna
it.
That's
do
what.
it.
But see, a lot of
I'm
and that's
still
the,
gonna
that's
do
the,
it.
but see, that's the
Means
whole
nothing.
that's the whole thing. The dude I was talking to. That's the mindset he's always had. So when he was with his girl, that's the mind.
He wouldn't get her none?
He wouldn't really. Why would I do that? And that's the thing. It's tradition. It's like, it's a tradition. Like I would say,
Somebody phone ring.
yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But
Think about the different consistency though. But like if you did it throughout the year and then you still did it on Valentine's Day, I think that just shows more love that you have for her.
yeah, but
It's
you
just
got
show- it's
to do
just
it
showing
every.
it.
You got to do it all the rest of
Throughout.
the year. Some people only do it on Valentine's.
And if you say if you feel like you're not willing to do that, then you don't love her like you should.
You say it one more time.
If you can't, what you do on Valentine's Day, if you can't do that throughout the year, then you don't love her like you
Right.
should.
That's true. That's true. I feel like it's just a little separate day just to show you like. I mean, because I guess some people would be like, oh, well, if you don't spend this amount of money on this day, then you really don't love me. Well, I feel like that's stupid.
That's
And
dumb, too.
That's dumb. And if you really think that, you should question the person that you're with. Like, I feel like it's just showing. Call me again. Yeah, it's just showing. I feel like it's just another day to express your love. It shouldn't be like it. I shouldn't be nervous. Like, oh, is this enough on Valentine's
Yeah,
Day?
I hate that feeling.
I shouldn't be
I hate
nervous.
that
Like,
feeling.
oh, is she
Yeah,
gonna
it's
think
the
that I
pressure,
love her?
bro.
It shouldn't be
Pressure.
like that. But I feel like it's just a day to be like, I'm gonna get you something special. You know, I'm gonna show you, tell you some things. There shouldn't be any nerve in it. That's the thing I don't like about it, because a lot of people have like, well, dude, if I don't go ahead and spend this money or do this, it's like, dang, I'm a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
all right, y'all. This was a great episode.
No.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to A Trillion Perspectives. We
Yes,
out.
sir, man. Peace.
We out.